Good morning, everybody, and welcome, and thank you so much for being here today. It's so hard to believe that the Garden State Water Safety Summit 2.0 was a year ago, and I don't know where the year went, but it was an eventful year for us and for water safety, and we are very, very excited to see all of you. My name is Judith Lebline-Josephs. Judith will do for the rest of the day. And I have produced these 3 Garden State Summits, along with hosting the Bathing Suit and Goggle Drive, which is taking the country by storm, by example. So we are so very proud of that and some other things. And I hope you brought a lot of business cards today, because as you look around this room, there are some incredible people in this room. People that have in their heart, in their life's mission, in their vision, drowning prevention, water safety, making the Garden State a safer place to live and play and swim, and to make water safety and learning to swim a high priority in New Jersey again. And I say again because in my lifetime, I didn't expect to see this amount of excitement ever again about water safety and swimming. I'm a kid from a housing project that learned to swim at Boylan Street Pool in Newark, New Jersey for 10 cents a day. And it turned into an international career where I'm still talking about swimming. So I think the city of Newark got back their investment in a little girl from Bradley Court Apartments. And I am honored and pleased to be among all of you as lifesavers. And the hardest thing in what we do is that we know who we lose, but we don't know who we saved. We don't always have that luxury. I am really very proud to say that New Jersey Swim Safety Alliance started because of COVID. I mean, some really horrible things happened during that pandemic, but some really amazing things happened. I was working alone in a silo, trying to get water parks and public pools back open again. And I was a whisper among all the voices. I was a whisper. My husband may debate that, but I was a whisper. But then a group of people I never met found me. And they said, "Do you want to join this group with us?" And that whisper became a murmur, became focus, turned into New Jersey Swim Safety Alliance, and we are now a roar. We are the voice of collaborative water safety in the Garden State, and we are very Jersey proud of that. That deserves some applause. We realize that there are people in this room doing amazing, wonderful, incredible, heroic things. But it's only valuable if we're together and we're one big voice among so many priorities. When I went to college, I went to a state college here. It's now called Kane University, which is great. It improved my pedigree. It started as Newark State College, then Kane College, and now I graduated from a university. I'm very proud. But in 1970s, you could not graduate from a state college without proving that you could swim. Now that's a focus. And from friends that are in the Pennsylvania area, they say some of the colleges in Pennsylvania were the same way. You could not graduate without proving that you could save yourself. How smart is that? With the ocean, with our lakes, with our pools, how smart is that? But then that started to go away when they took that out of the state colleges. When they started to say that swimming pools had to pay for themselves and cities were closing swimming pools and putting up splash pads. And I love it all. I love it all. But swimming lessons and understanding how to be safe in and around the water, and not only in bodies of water, but at your home, in a bathtub for a baby, in a Home Depot bucket, in a koi pond near a nursery school. These are the stories we hear. And any of you in this room who have ever seen a non-responsive child on a deck or a non-responsive adult, you will never forget it for the rest of your life. And all of you are here today because we don't want that ever to happen again. So I am so proud to be a founding board member of the New Jersey Swim Safety Alliance. I'm the producer of today. So if you're happy, give me a good atta girl. If you're not happy, I'm blaming it on Andy or somebody else, because that's the Jersey way. I was a proud chief author of the New Jersey Water Safety Strategy. And today, the 6 main strategies that were created from the Garden State Summits 1.0 and 2.0, over 200 collaborators. It's like trying to wrangle cats. It was a long year for me and for the rest of the team, but we wound up just shy of second, 3rd state in the country to have a state-specific water safety plan, and all of you today are part of the implementation where the hard work gets going. I'd say that's worth applause. Every one of those 6 strategies you'll experience in some way today. So I'm just your tour guide for it today. But here is our leader, Kate Waxler, the chair of the New Jersey Swim Safety Alliance.
Hello, all. Thank you for coming. I know we've traveled throughout the state, and everyone has been so welcoming. My name is Kate Waxler. I am with the American Red Cross Training Services. I cover the state of New Jersey, and I am also the board chair of the New Jersey Swim Safety Alliance. So thank you for welcoming this Philly girl and water safety expert. Yes, it's pronounced water, here with you today. My swim journey started, as a swim team kid in high school who didn't want to play dodgeball. So I was able to take a lifeguarding class instead of our typical phys ed class. And so from, being a 15-year-old avoiding dodgeball, now is my career in aquatics and water safety. So NJSSA, we have a small but mighty group. We're very much volunteer driven, and so many of you have made us the organization that we are today. So we thank you all for your dedication, your volunteerism, being members. We wouldn't be here without you. So I just want to say a couple of the accomplishments that NJSSA has done this year as an organization. I was writing them down and I was like, wow, no wonder I am so tired. We did so much this year. So as Judith said, kind of the hallmark that we did was be the 3rd state to publish a water safety strategy. So part of the national plan was that each state should kind of have their own specific plan because each state is so different. And we took that. We took that challenge. We thought we were going to be number 2. Hawaii kind of snuck in there, but we are the 3rd state with the strategy, which is amazing and a great accomplishment. But this is just the framework of what we can do and how we can really reduce drowning. So as an organization, we want to reduce drowning by 30% by 2030, and this plan is giving us the framework to get there. In addition to the strategy, we've worked with tons of collaborators, including Dolphin Swimwear. They're here as well. New Jersey Park and Rec Association on our bathing suit drive, because we know one of the barriers for kids learning to swim, which is one of our biggest preventers in drowning, is they don't have bathing suits. So we are able to work across the state to make sure that there's bathing suits for kids that need it. Other things that we did is we worked with legislators, both federally and at the state level, to work on having legislation to make swimming accessible for all. We've worked at different conferences, speaking, talking about how we were able to write the strategy and the power of partnerships. And that's what I love about this day, how many partnerships come out of it, because we are stronger together. Yes, we're on our pool decks or, doing what we do every day, but the mission of drowning prevention is so important and we can do more work together. I made a list of all the great things that we did. I want to see what I missed. We had quarterly Zoom calls, which is a way for our members to get together. One of my favorite ones we did this year was with pediatricians, what they wish parents knew about water safety. So if you're not on our quarterly Zoom calls, making sure that you jump on. We really also grew our social media presence. So make sure that you like us on Facebook and Instagram, you share, and we can amplify the message of water safety and drowning prevention across the state. Captain Jack became an official partner of NJSSA. I love all the humans in the room, but I think Captain Jack is my favorite. So he is back there in the back. So make sure you say hi to Captain, our lovely canine companion. And he is amazing. Kids at a booth, you have Captain Jack there, and they are running up to say hi to the dog, and then you can give water safety information. So we're really great to have him as an official partner. We had articles published in the World Water Park Association magazine. We also won the Kelly Ogle Award, which is really great to bring that award from WWA back to New Jersey. Our postcard committee under the leadership of Andy has really taken off, and we're able to take our postcards with water safety messaging and translate it into multiple languages. We launched our new membership portal, so our website is updated, and for those of you who know how challenging technology can be, that was a really big lift, and so we're now really hoping that our members are able to engage through this new portal. And last but not least, we partnered with the Zach Foundation for dry land training in schools. So we did a pilot program in Lavalette. We did a Parents University, an evening program and with their PTA. And then we also did a program during the day for kids to learn about water safety education. So we've been busy. So if you have any questions about any of these programs or you want to get involved, ask myself, ask Judith, or any of our board members. We have these lovely tags or the blue polo shirts. So thank you again for being here, and I'm really excited to see what comes out of today.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Kate. She's terrific. And there's an important person in the room for many reasons, and I'm going to ask him to join me on the podium now. In East Brunswick, a place close to my heart, I worked here for 10 years and lived here for 10 years until marriage swept me away. But it was some of the greatest times and achievements in my lifetime, and I will always be indebted to the Township of East Brunswick. Mayor Brad Cohen is here today. Mayor Cohen.
Thank you, Judith, and welcome, everybody. Welcome to East Brunswick. Good morning. First of all, I want to give a hearty welcome. We are dead center in the middle of the state, so we're happy that you're here today and talking about water safety as we're just about to approach winter. But I think that there's really no better and more important topic to be talking about in terms of the safety and security of our children in the future. I'm a physician by trade. I've spent my entire life making sure that we look out for the benefit of those, the health and the well-being of those around me. And in those years when I would work in an emergency room, and we often will see the water safety problems, kids that had drowned or were near drowning incidents, and by the time they get to the hospital, it's often too late. So the heroes in the room are really those of you out here who are learning these techniques, learning the water safety information that's all been provided to you through this forum that the New Jersey Swim Safety Alliance has put together for you. I think there's probably nothing more important. And frankly, if it were up to me, I think that it should be a life skill. It should be a requirement of school. I don't think that you should get out of high school without knowing and the ability and having the ability to swim. To me, it's like times tables and learning about branches of government. This should be a life skill. But until such time as we have that legislation in place, we're depending upon folks like you to be here today to pick up these skills, to be able to provide water safety techniques to individuals, to parents, to children, so that we could prevent these type of incidents from occurring here. This is something we take very seriously here in East Brunswick. We have our own water park. We have had tragedies over the last couple of years, all of which could have been prevented if people had these skills. So we take it really, really seriously. It's also not a secret that I've put my name in to run for Congress and in the congressional district that we're here in right now. And frankly, if I'm lucky enough to be able to achieve that goal, that would be a national goal for me. The answer is not to avoid the topic. If the issue is the ability for those of us to access pools and to access places to learn to swim, then we need to fix the access problem, and that's doable. On behalf of the township, we welcome you here. I also have a resolution from the New Jersey Assembly. The bill was put forth by Assemblyman Ingamore and Cantara, Assemblywoman Calazos, Gill, and Donlin, and Assemblyman Kane. The bill basically recognizes the fact that you're here today with the New Jersey Swim Safety Alliance on the occasion of learning these skills, which clearly the highest levels in our state government recognizes and supports you in the mission that you're here to accomplish today. So I won't take any more of your time. Let's learn the skills that we need to do. Thank you, Judy, and have a great time today.
Thank you, Mary. Wait 1 minute. This would not have been possible without this incredible facility among the many that you've developed here, and we are so very grateful for that. Also, the Township of East Brunswick is one of the communities that was cited specifically in the New Jersey Water Safety Strategy for Achievements. So here is your official copy. Now, I do warn you, if you wind up in Congress, I have been known to stalk many of the people in this audience beyond belief for both support, legislation, and just occasional way to go. So thank you so much.
That's a little better than the social media and Facebook warriors. I'll take you any day.
All right, thank you. That's what they all say, Mayor. That's what they all say. Thank you very much.
That is for you.
Let's again thank him.
You.
It started with stalking a state police officer, and now it's moved to Congress. This is a problem. Perhaps there's a 10-step program for it, but I've been stalking water warriors everywhere I go. Speaking of stalking, we have a friend in this room who cannot say no to me or to anything related to water safety, and that is Dominic Mondi, the Executive Director of NESPA, the Northeast Spa and Pool Association, who are as focused on drowning prevention as we are. Dominic, thank you. Dominic will be on a panel a little later, but not only these 3 summits, but also helping to fund the strategy. So Dominic, we love you, and I will continue to stalk you as well. If I can get my husband to start saying no, Dominic says he can't say no. I can't get my husband to say yes. So Dominic, he's here. You can teach him a little bit about how to say yes. Here's our lunch sponsors. How do we do this and have you fed so beautifully in the morning and lunch? Ta-da! Let's hear it for the sponsors of the lunch. Little Dolphin Swim Academy, Goldfish Swim School in Wyckoff and Gloucester. That's Jennifer Casper. Oh, that's me with the crown. And National NL Aquatic Center. Thank you so much. We could not continue to do this without their sponsorship, and we are extremely grateful. Let's see our partners, John. These are our major partners, the New Jersey Recreation and Park Association, of which I am a past president proudly, the Zach Foundation, the American Red Cross, East Brunswick Parks and Recreation, and Get It Done Marketing. Let's hear it from them, major partners in putting this together. And this next one I'm going to let you look at, and we have them all over the building. Take a look, and if you buy from some of these people, thank them. If you need to buy something, call them. This is how we keep providing services. We are totally nonprofit, and without all of these sponsors, we could not continue the work that we are doing. So thank you so much for that, and make sure to reach out to them. For the first year, we have some exhibitors. So I need you to go and visit those exhibitors. You did this morning. We'll have lunch in there, visit the exhibitors, and tell them how much we love them. Next slide, John. Look at all the people. Now, many of these people perhaps are not taking my calls anymore, but let's hear it for this number of sponsors. This is incredible. We have both supporting sponsors in the bronze division, and we also have promotional sponsors. I know what you're thinking right now. You're sitting in this room going, how can I become a sponsor? How can I become a member? We're going to talk about that all day because we need membership and we need sponsorship. So we'll provide plenty of love back, but we need you. So again, all of these folks. And the one thing I do have to say, compared to the other states that put out their own specific strategies, the New Jersey strategy had a huge driving force behind it. And I affectionately call them the New Jersey Aqua Mob. They are the water park operators all throughout New Jersey. A big group of my Aqua Mob are here. Thank you very much to the water park community that have been incredible in spreading the word that swimming lessons save lives. And we say mob, you know, gently and kindly. Now, here's a really good part, and who's going to help me here? This is self-introduction. Now, if anybody's ever done speed dating, has anybody ever done speed dating? Is that still a thing? Okay. Here's the important thing. I want to know everybody that's in the room, don't you? So very quickly, we're going to start passing this microphone around. Will you help me, Kate? Kate will be my Vanna White. Here you go, Kate. I don't know how to turn it on. I can't see the writing. It's very small. Very quickly, who are you? And why are you here? Quick. I mean quick. I'll start playing music if you talk too long. You have all day to talk to each other. You have all day to pass business cards back and forth. But we are thrilled. And I have to tell you, looking out at this audience, can I just see how many are with us for the first time at a Garden State Summit? That is great. How many of you came twice already? Beautiful. How many came 3 times? I love ya. Beautiful. Congratulations, and thank you for that. Okay, where's Kate with the microphone? Oh, okay, Doreen is with the microphone. Oh, please, I'm so negligent. I'm going to get in trouble for this. Will all the board members of the New Jersey Swim Safety Alliance please stand up? Please stand up so people can see who you are. Blue shirts, name tags, over in the corner here. Find them today. Volunteer. Thank them. Thank you so much, guys. Self-introductions. Are we ready? Pass that thing around like fire. Go ahead, Doreen.
Good morning. I'm Doreen Gualtieri. I'm president of the New Jersey Pool Managers Association, as well as a board member of the NJSSA.
Robert Brown with Captain Jack, Salty Paws Beach Patrol.
Hi, Stephanie Grebe, sales manager, Dolphin Swimwear.
Hi, I'm Hudson Riggs. I'm with Lighthouse Beach Management.
Hi, Rich Carlson, New Jersey Aquatics Safety Coalition and Coalition of Lake Associations.
Patrick Schmidt, CEO of Scanning Assist.
I'm Connor Lapping with COO of Scanning Assist.
Nancy Curtis, founding board member, treasurer. If you have any money in your pockets and you want to donate it today, I'm available. Find me.
We're so classy.
Bobby Hazen with the New York Water Safety Coalition and Executive Director of Stop Drowning Now.
I am Gaurav Garg here on behalf of Tap Into East Brunswick, bringing the summit to the people.
Linda Tower, the Executive Director of New Jersey Swim Safety Alliance. Hi, Lauren Davidson, Paralympic swimmer, and I'm going to be on the panel in a few minutes.
Good morning, Sergeant Karen Fahey, New Jersey State Police, Marine Services Bureau. I'm here to promote safety and awareness, and I'm also here because of Judith. Everyone forgot that part.
And ice rescue. Mayor Cohen mentioned that it's a hard time to talk about water safety in the winter, but not when we look at ice rescues.
Hi, I'm Christine Palma. I'm with the OC Water Park in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Lou Sirigliano, Breakwater Beach, Seaside Heights, and proud member of the New Jersey Aqua Mob.
That's my guys.
Angelo Fouchon, Breakwater Beach Water Park, Seaside Heights.
Thank you. Joe Omi, I'm the founder of New Jersey Swim Schools, Inc., and a founding board member of this association, thanks to Judith and Chuck.
Michael Hobst, Special Olympics.
Awesome.
Aiden Ward, lesson director, Tidewater Swim School.
Lucas Versavagis, Newtown Athletic Club and Excel Swimming.
I'm Gary Burke. I'm the Director of Aquatics and Facility Safety for the Newtown Athletic Club.
John Famiano, Maurice Piers Beachfront Water Parks, and also a board member of NJSSA.
Veronica Taylor, Superintendent of Parks and Recreation for the City of Plainfield, proud member of New Jersey's Swim Safety Alliance.
Khalid Benalla, the Aquatics Director at Raritan Bay YMCA.
Lisa Rivera from Little Dolphin Swim Academy.
Emma Lamperti from Boundbrook Recreation.
Romaine Aker Kelly, Montclair State University, and past president of NJRPA.
Dina Trunzo, recreational therapist, retired, Somerset County Park Commission, past president of NJRPA, and Judith made me be here.
Jacob Bonzi with the Cerebral Aquatics and Fitness Center.
Kate Miner with Aquatics and Fitness Center.
Lindsay Robertson, Morris County Park Commission.
Karen Grill, Morris County Park Commission.
Kelly Molinelli, YMCA at the Piscataway Community Center, YMCA of Moosa.
Cooper Terrell, Director of Operations, the Funplex in Mount Laurel.
Juliette Shirk, OC Water Park in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Dominic Mundy, Executive Director of the Northeast Spa and Pool Association.
Alexis Alexander, General Manager of Stewie the Duck Swim School.
Ryan Leonard, the Executive Director of the Stu Leonard III Water Safety Foundation and Stewie the Duck Swim School.
Rebecca Bastuga, the Aquatics Coordinator at Rutgers University.
My name is Roman Brooks. I'm the Aquatics Manager at the Salvation Army Camden Croc Center.
Put some money in the red kettle.
Kenny Gantman, I own SwimQuest Swim Schools.
Hi, I'm Sean Patwell, founding board member of the International Lifeguard Museum, which will hopefully be opening in 2026 in Atlantic City, the home of the first beach patrol in the United States.
Randy Royal from Lavalette Elementary School.
Soon to be teaching the Zach Foundation Dry Land Water Safety. Thank you so much for being here.
Kara Takash, Middlesex County Office of Health Services.
John Dowd, Middlesex County Office of Health Services.
Also made it in the strategy. Congratulations.
Donna Galagano, retired Mars School District swim specialist and currently working with the Academy Group.
Ray Gaffney, aquatic director and head swim coach up at the Sussex County YMCA.
Derek Pivko, Sussex County YMCA.
Gabriel Martinez, volunteer coach at St. Benedict's and also swim instructor at British Swim School.
St. Benedict's not only made the strategy, but were a National Drowning Prevention Award winner last year for their dedication to teaching their students not only how to swim, but how to excel in water polo, swimming, and crew. Congratulations to you. Thank you for being with us today.
Nicole Hasbon, Aquatics Director at St. Benedict's Prep.
Darius Gilmore, Assistant Volunteer at St. Benedict's Prep.
Who are now wearing some of the most beautiful swimsuits provided by the generosity of all of you and Dolphin Swimwear. We have adopted St. Benedict's swim team, crew team, and water polo.
Curly Jackson, I'm the grandmother of a 15-year-old who drowned in 2011, and I advocate for water safety everywhere I go.
Hold on a minute, Miss Jackson. You're so much more than that. You are a friend of NJSSA. I am wearing Nasir's wristband right now. She has been advocating for water safety education in schools since her tragic loss, and we adore her. Thank you, Miss Jackson, for being here.
Good morning. I'm Ellis Peters from Somer Justice Swim Equity Program, and I also am a program director at Physique Swimming in New York City.
KJ Fury, I'm the Injury Prevention Coordinator for the Trauma Service at Morristown Medical Center and also the coordinator for Safe Kids, Northern New Jersey.
Hi, I'm Maureen Donnelly. I'm the Injury Prevention Coordinator at Cooper Hospital and run the Safe Kids, Southern New Jersey.
Hi, I'm Diana Staris. I'm the Injury Prevention Coordinator at Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital right here in New Brunswick, and also coordinate Safe Kids Middlesex County. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Joe Blashewski. I'm with Scouting America, Garden State Council.
New recipients of our bathing suits. We're happy to do it.
Hi, I'm Connie Urkel, no relation to Steve, and I'm with the Victoria Urkel Memorial Foundation. We go into community events, schools, teach water safety awareness. We give swim lesson scholarships to inner city kids and adults, and we're collaborating with some other organizations and thrilled to be here.
She ran a CPR course where the required fee were bathing suits. Thank you, Connie.
Good morning. My name is Andrew Baxter. I'm the former lieutenant of the Barnegat Lake Beach Patrol. I live in Lambertville, New Jersey, where I'm a member of the New Hope Eagle Fire Company Water Rescue Team, and this is my first time here.
Welcome.
Mary Desjardins. I'm with the Cumberland Cape Atlantic YMCA as an aquatics manager.
Hi there, I am Brett Illy. I am the Association Aquatics Director at the Gateway Family YMCA and the New Jersey YMCA Peer Network Aquatics Chair.
I'm Karen Statmuller. I am the Aquatics Director and Pool Operator at Pinnacle Health and Fitness in Hillsborough.
Hi, I'm Bob Selfridge, Barnegat Lake Beach Patrol, Safety Third Training Partners, and apparently emergency panelist today.
And Bob Selfridge also made the strategy for receiving a very special medal from the Coast Guard for diving into a sunken boat and rescuing a mother and child. God bless you, Bob Selfridge.
I'm Leah Lampy. I'm the East Coast Client Partner for Starguard Elite.
I'm Carrie O'Neill. I'm the Aquatics Director at Diggerland, USA.
Hello, Robert Stapp, British Swim School, Hudson Waterfront.
Frank Massini, Director of Human Resources for the Monmouth County Park System, and I'm also the member at large for NJRPA.
Chris Myers, I'm the Director of Recreation and Parks at Milburn Township, and I am the current past president of the NJRPA.
I'm surprised they're sitting together because there was an entire year of some trash talking about who would win the coveted bathing suit drive belt. And I'm glad to see the friendship has remained, even though one is not getting it.
Sarah Palumbo, Aquatics Director for Neptune Aquatic Center in Neptune, New Jersey.
Denise Blair, Lifeguard Chief for Deal Ocean Rescue. I'm also the United States Life Saving Association Public Education Chair. And Bob received the Medal of Valor for that same thing from the United States Life Saving Association.
Thank you.
Ed Kazukowicz, United States Life Saving Association.
Stay right there. This fellow has had more social media time and TV coverage than any lifeguard in the history of New Jersey. He is the, can I say, the longest serving active beach lifeguard. And can you tell us how old you are?
How long have you been doing it?
How long have you been doing it, Ed? Don't be shy.
I just finished my 63rd year on a beach.
And we have another lifeguard in the room that is closely reaching your record. Yes.
Al Talaferro, New Jersey Pool Managers Association.
Marianne Regan, Franklin Township Parks and Recreation.
Karen Hilberg, longtime WSIT, LGIT, and currently adjunct at Monmouth University and part of National Training Centers.
Mateo Santos, Montclair State University Aquatic Student Supervisor.
Vivian Love with Montclair State University as an aquatic supervisor and lifeguard instructor.
Hi, Alyssa Bernardini, Hurricane Harbor, Arlington, Dallas, Texas, operations manager.
Water park peeps.
I'm Kim Kerr. I'm the operations manager at Hurricane Harbor in New Jersey.
Hi, I'm Kaylee Ball. I'm the full-time supervisor at Hurricane Harbor in New Jersey.
Hi, I'm Julia Kubis. I'm a aquatics managerial at Hurricane Harbor in New Jersey.
Did they send a bus? Fabulous. I love her.
Lauren Conrad, with Assistant Director of the Town of Westfield.
Hi, I'm Dan Hesse with Chatham Recreation.
These two are shy.
Jim Josephs.
The
Judith
long-suffering.
Huffman, long-suffering Jim Josephs. Chief Voluntold Officer.
Well,
with my Assistant Chief Voluntold Officer next to me, Brenda.
I'm Brenda DeMasi, Judy's neighbor, and I help her with her bathing suit drive.
you'll learn more about Brenda later.
Renee Ricciardi, Regional Manager of Goldfish Swim Schools in Wyckoff and Gloucester.
We are so grateful for your support, and please bring that to Jennifer as well.
Valerie Houghton, Aquatics Coordinator / Admin Assistant from Morris Township.
Learning how to twist arms in the bathing suit drive, Valerie. You go, girl. I need a replacement soon.
Casey McGovern, the Executive Director of Every Child a Swimmer. I'm also a mom of drowning victims, so I stand with you, Miss Jackson.
And Casey is a panelist as well and came to us from Florida. We're honored to have you here, Casey.
Good morning, Scott Keller, Seabright lifeguard trainer, and Best Day Foundation safety director, where we take special needs kids day on the beach, get them out surfing, boogie boarding.
And Captain Jack visited Best Day Ever.
Good morning, Dee Lee, NJDOH, assisting public recreational bathing program.
Good morning, Janelle Sontadek, also with the New Jersey Department of Health, assisting with the Public Recreational Bathing Project.
Thank you so much for coming.
Jacqueline Morrison lives in Franklin Park, retired athletic trainer, PE K through 12, ARC, instructor for many years, lifeguarding instructor, WSI.
Thank you.
Daniela Abreu, Wellness Youth Family Program Director and the Senior Aquatics Director for the Metropolitan YMCA of the Oranges.
Good morning, Andy Krupa. I am a board member of the NJSSA and a dues-paying member as well, and a retired educator.
Rosemary Nunez, the City of Jersey City Aquatics Director.
Brian Bonacci, board member of the New Jersey Pool Managers Association, CPO instructor, manager of the North Bergen Pool.
Good morning. I am Paul Clauges. I am a foreman with the track department at Conrail.
David Mirza with Conrail, here to support Paul and Barry, who you'll hear about later.
Good morning, Barry Sanders. I am a heavy equipment operator at Conrail, here accompanied with my lovely wife, Sarah.
I did stalk both Paul and Barry, but I found them.
I'm Sarah Sanders, Barry's wife. I'm here to support him and Paul.
Rick McCall, Director of Track at Conrail, also here to support Paul and Barry.
Good morning, Pam Casino, Lavallette Beach Patrol. I'm here to support Jack and the Beach Patrol. And Randy, hi, he took my job when I retired from Lavallette School. Love him. Thank you.
It's an incestuous bunch here.
Jack Casino, Captain of Lavallette Beach Patrol, not to be mistaken with Captain Jack back there.
Before you go, Jack, Jack, how many years do you have on Beach Patrol?
48.
48 years on the Beach Patrol in Lavallette. By the way, my hometown. And featured in a documentary about his family's lifetime commitment to beach lifeguarding. And I saw it on the internet. Please check it out. It's fantastic.
Hi, I'm Michael Stogdill, councilman from Lavallette, council liaison to beach operations.
So happy to have you here, Mike. And we have two right in the front here. And Chuck's making his way to the stage for his presentation next.
Chuck Warner, Little Dolphins Swim Academy and New Jersey Swim Safety Alliance board member.
None of this would have happened without this gentleman who made those phone calls during COVID. And he's very modest. He is a Hall of Famer from USA Swimming and one of the best college swim coaches in the country. And I love working with Chuck. We're happy to have him.
Patrolman David Brzozowski with the West Long Beach Police Department.
Did I miss anyone?
I do have to tell you,
Jen
I also
Helm in the
stalked.
back. Jen Helm's here.
Kate, I
else did I
also
miss?
stalked our award winner from West Long Branch Police Department. I hope you don't hold it against me, but it's nice to know you when I travel through town.
No.
Okay, so there are some people on the board that say this is long and cumbersome. I don't think it is, because we are seeing relationships, we're seeing collaborations, and what I have seen in the last 5 years that we've been at this, or 4 or 5, I don't know, I don't know if we count COVID, but I have seen more collaborations, more friendships, more colleagues coming together, more agencies that deserve bathing suits to get them, more agencies that collect bathing suits and spread the word. So this, to me, is the most important part of the day. In this room are Hall of Famers, heroes, warriors, people who have lost loved ones. What a wonderful group. Give yourself a round of applause. Next slide, John. Thank you.
What a team. What a team is sitting in this room right now. Ray, I swim in your pool and I see you and I've never met you. So many different people with passion for this topic and this subject. And our goal as a team is to reduce the loss of life from drowning by 30% by 2030. Does that sound like a reasonable goal for us? A tangible, specific, measurable goal? The measurement is a little difficult because accumulating data on drowning can be difficult. And by that I mean somebody could have a boating accident and someone drowns in that boating accident. Is that because of the boating accident or is that because of drowning? And so as we accumulate this data, it's a little difficult to be perfect in what we see, but we have the idea. If we could do this, that would mean 20 or more people would be walking around each year. 100 more people every 5, 200 more people every 10 years. Some people that we might know and be aware of, some people that we might not. But when we lose someone, we know that it doesn't just affect their life, it affects the life of all those around them. So it's really a much even bigger issue than that might sound. John, next slide, please. This is, in the last year, some of the people that we've lost. When you get past the numbers, there's a lot to learn. 80% males. 80% males. It's unbelievable how foolish some of us are. And all the guys in the room know what I'm talking about. We're little kids and we're going to find the vine on the river and we're going to swing out there and see what happens. And if we just had a little more caution and knew that there could be rocks, there could be sand, there could be something underneath that was going to create a problem, hurt us, injure us, maybe take our life, that we'd be more thoughtful about it. There is data on where this happens, where we lose people. And more than anything else, it's the open water. Rivers, lakes, oceans, pools less so, bathtubs occasionally. Age of people, in 2024, 17 kids, 12 and younger. Typically, on average, about 12 every year in New Jersey. Ethnicity, this is a snapshot that Kate was able to accumulate from media articles and so forth. And ethnicity matters because sometimes we're not educating people in certain communities as well as we might in others. So there's a lot we can learn from this. Let's see what else I'm missing. beyond the numbers, in 2025, Samia Sultana, 13 years old. Her parents are weighing whether or not to send her on a church youth group trip to the beach. Mom knows that she's not a very good swimmer and reluctantly sends her anyway. And Samaya doesn't come home. Her 12-year-old sister is pulled out of the water. The 13-year-old Samaya drowns, is rescued but drowns in what was an effort at some sort of triathlon sort of activity that I could read. Alexis Velez Fisher, 33 years old, in Cedar Lake, one of 2 drownings this summer in Cedar Lake kayaking. Just got married, her whole life in front of her, considered a wonderful, vibrant young lady. Kayaking, was she wearing a life jacket? Did someone suggest wearing a life jacket? Was she with somebody else? Somebody saw her swimming with a group of people, but suddenly she was unconscious and could not be revived. The stories go on of who these people actually are and how much they mean to their community. And you might wonder, I might wonder, these little guys, would they have grown up to be somebody that would have helped lead us to a peaceful world, help cure cancer, help us with climate change, all these different things that we need that we noticed in COVID. We were searching vaccines and solutions for losing people, but there are solutions that we know about in swimming and drowning that we can apply that don't take any more research. We just need to get our team mobilized and collaborative enough to be able to make a difference, to be able to pull those numbers down. Some people may go on to do incredible things like that, and then there's someone like John Devone, 54 years old, who's just a good guy, goes down to the Jersey Shore when there's a storm, and like a lot of us might have done when we were kids, see those big waves and they look very enticing and not recognize the power of the ocean. When I was looking through some of these names and researching some of this week, I saw Jack's interview on TV with somebody 25 yards offshore. Just couldn't get them soon enough. People the day after Labor Day, the day after the lifeguards came off the stands, back in the water, unsupervised, and loss of life. So John Devone, in reading about him, cherished son of Genevieve Devone, loving brother of Nick Devone, Carmen Devone, and his wife Amy, cherished uncle of Michael Devone and Peter Devone, dear nephew of Marianne Gamero, proud uncle of Matthew, Maria, Dean, Kenneth, Nicolette, James and Joseph, cousin of John Gamero, James Gamero, his wife Rosary, and Jenny Whitman. John was predeceased by his father, Carmen, affecting so many different people and having such a big impact. And we have Connie Urkel and Stu Leonards that are here today that have lost children and others that have now gone out to make a difference and to help people. I've had my best friends not be so successful in that alcoholism turns to liver cancer, turns to death because they're so distraught over the fact that they lost their 13-year-old daughter to not recognizing the water issues that took her over a waterfall, sent her into a whirlpool, and took her life. So it's not just the one life that goes, but it's the impact that it has on so many other people. John, can you go to the next slide? On the other hand, as Judith said, who are we saving? Is it the person that you went to the cashier at the grocery store yesterday and saw them behind the stand and wonder, were you or were we a part of the solution that helped keep them alive? Is it that person driving here today that cut you off in traffic that you might say, yeah, buddy, you're probably still around because the New Jersey Swim Safety Alliance and this group of people that are gathering here, we're going to want to make sure you're safe when you go to the shore, want to make sure you're safe and understand when you go to your river and various beaches and pools. That's what we're here for. The vaccine is learning to swim. The vaccine is for all of us that love water to also respect it and to respect the power of the ocean, the power of the natural circumstances. So this afternoon, what we're going to do is gather your expertise and try to apply it to help make a better year for us to start bringing those numbers down. We're going to spend some time on driving public awareness. One of the most important things, just being aware, how many of us are in those marginally unsafe settings where we feel like we're the only one in our group that really realizes what the risks are in swimming alone, in paddleboarding without a life jacket on, where you could just fall off the paddleboard, hit your head, and you're gone. So many of those things that we are sensitive to, that we need your help on how we get that message out to our New Jerseyans. Drowning prevention tactics, lifeguard training and development, highlighting the shortage that we have of lifeguards, and collaboration. Through the New Jersey Swimming Bathing Code is something we'll talk about today, but that certainly covers a whole lot of things. So that's what we're after this afternoon, everybody lending their expertise, everybody helping us make a better plan. It's a heavy burden, but we can do this. This is an incredible team. I'm so excited to have you here today and to have you help be a part of this. Kate, what have I forgotten?
Thanks, Chuck. The one thing I do want to mention is the data that was up there is from media reports. And we think about for about every one media report of a drowning, there's one that does not make the media. But the one thing I do want to mention is when we look at that, it's very heavy in natural bodies of water and as environmental things, right? 2 women in their 60s swept off the road during flooding. Right? Things that maybe didn't happen before. Lakes, rivers, oceans, riptides, all coming into factoring into this. However, I would like to applaud everyone in here. On that list was not a single guarded facility. The ocean rescues were all after hours. So how do we get that message out with public awareness that swimming where a lifeguard is effective? We know learning how to swim, but also swimming where a lifeguard is. And a lot of these are adults. But I say we start with the children. How do we teach kids? Because I still remember stop, drop, and roll as a child. I've yet to catch on fire, but I remember stop, drop, and roll. I know what to do. And chances are our children, they're going to be in aquatic environments. We want them to be in aquatic environments. The solution isn't don't swim. The solution is swim safely. And we are in a state with so many beautiful rivers, lakes, beaches, pools, water parks. How do we get the general public to enjoy these safely? And so that's what I really want you to think of for the rest of the day. So we have the data. How do we then have solutions and make sure that everyone is aware and knows how to respect the water, as Chuck said?
The only other piece that I wanted to add to this data collection topic is that the media reports that we collected this year with the help of volunteers and other organizations are half of what we expect the reported drownings to be. So there is a real knowledge gap of what is actually happening on the ground in New Jersey. And I think that's something that we're going to address in the public awareness workshop as well, but also something to think about, like what is the way to make this more present in everyone's mind in New Jersey?
And I think that gap that I addressed earlier about when it was no longer a priority in some of our cities and our colleges and universities. We're feeling that gap now when you hear about young men in their 20s drowning, not knowing that they can't swim or they can't handle that pool or they can't handle that lake or stream. So we're playing catch up now from years of it not being a priority in New Jersey, and we are determined to make it a priority again. So thank you, Chuck and Kate and Linda, for that. And can I ask all of our participants in the Swimming Changes Lives panel to come to the stage? The Swimming Changes Lives panel. We have a ramp on this side, if they would come to the stage. Beautiful. Just seamless, absolutely seamless. What a production, huh? Hey, I need a little reinforcement. What a production. If anybody goes too long, we'll start playing music like the Academy Awards. Come on up and join us on the stage. Beautiful. And Linda Tower, our executive director, we would not be here without her. Linda.
Today we have the privilege of hearing from some extraordinary individuals whose diverse journeys in swimming illuminate the pathways to inclusion, excellence, and community impact. Following our opening presentation by Michael, and I think we have a video from St. Benedict's, we'll explore the fundamental questions with our panel of what makes the difference in ensuring that swimming becomes accessible, meaningful, and life-changing for all. So those are the questions we're hoping to address and hopefully get some ideas for people to take back some easy changes that might make your operations reach the people that we were just discussing in the last slide.
Okay, hold on.
So Nancy?
Okay, come on. We're going to go over to the podium. Come on.
Yes, you're welcome to.
This is Michael. I met Michael when he was 7 years old. Talking about circles completing. Michael's younger sister swam for Chuck at the University of Rutgers University, right, Chuck? Christy Herbst, didn't she swim for you? Yes, she did. Well, this is Michael, her older brother. I'm sure Michael was at Rutgers and cheered her on while you were there. Is this on or no? Okay, you can stand here. Go ahead. And go ahead and talk right into this. There you go.
Ni hao. Ni hao means hello in Chinese. My name is Michael Herbst. Thank you for inviting me to speak with you today about how the sport of swimming has impacted my life. It all began when my doctor suggested that I should, at the age of 5, I needed a sport, that the sport should be swimming. My parents took my sisters and me to a local indoor swim club called Haddonwood, where we all learned to swim. My instructor, unfortunately, was the coach of an Area 7 Special Olympics New Jersey swim team. At the age of 9, I joined the Sparks Special Olympics New Jersey team. I qualified for the New Jersey Summer Games and brought home 4 gold medals that year. My sister became members of the Haddonwood swim team and the local outdoor club, Greenfields swim team. That's how I met Coach Nancy Korditz. It wasn't too much fun watching my sister swim at practice each day in the summer, so I asked my parents if I could join their team. Nancy said that it was okay with her as long as I didn't cry. Well, I never cried. I swam for Greenfields until I was 18. I have boxes and boxes of swimming medals from Special Olympics, area meets, sectional meets, and summer games. but I had other opportunities to swim outside of New Jersey. I was 17. Nancy told me about an opportunity to apply for a swim camp for individuals with a wide range of disabilities at the Colorado Springs Olympic Training Center. I was accepted. No medals were awarded there, but I met many nice people who also like to swim. One person, Gail, who was my coach, who I would meet again 10 years later. During high school, I joined the swim team. I swam all 4 years, and in my senior year, my sister Christy and my friend Brent and I were co-captains. I didn't win any medals, but I have memories of being a team member. I even was able to swim in a county high school meet and a holiday classic meet where I wasn't last in the 500 free. I also could hear my teammates and the fans cheering me on. That felt great. My favorite memory was swimming on a relay with my sisters and my friend Brent. After my senior year of swimming, I was awarded the Most Courageous Athlete Award from the Colonial Conference and was inducted in the West Effort High School Sports Hall of Fame. A few years later, in the Special Olympics, every 4 years, there were national games. To qualify, you must win a gold medal. And in an individual event of a relay at the New Jersey Summer Games, previous a year and past an interview in 2006, I was selected along with 6 others to attend Nationals in Ames, Iowa for the 50 fly and the 100 free and the 200 melody relay. There were opening ceremonies in the Iowa State University, the football stadium that included Hootie and the Blowfish, and actors from the film The Ringer to entertain us. We all recited the Special Olympics oath. Oh, let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt. I won a silver in the 100 free and gold in the 50 fly and a relay. By the way, Nancy Curtis coached me privately for the national games, and it felt good to be back with her again. Next came the World Special Olympics Games in 2007. To qualify, I had to win a gold in Ames, Iowa. And yes, I was selected to go to Shanghai, China for the 50 fly and the 100 free and the melody relay. I needed a private coach, and guess who volunteered? You got it, Nancy Curtis. There were 40 swimmers selected from across the USA. We met each other in Memphis, Tennessee, for a few practices during the summer before the games in September. Surprisingly, I met Gail, who was my coach in Colorado, and will be my coach in China. We received our USA uniforms. It took us 24 hours to arrive in Shanghai. We stopped in Los Angeles, Alaska, and Japan. We arrived. Shanghai is in an enormous city, halfway around the world. The opening ceremonies were even more impressive than at Nationals. We marched into the stadium wearing our USA gear, feeling so proud. My first race was a relay with the teammates from Kentucky, Indiana, and Florida. We had known each other for 1 week and were suddenly the relay of the USA, who will win the silver medal. We competed against swimmers from over 160 countries, being seated in the outside lanes caused me to worry about my individual races. I wanted medals, not ribbons. I ended up winning bronze medal in the 50 fly and the 100 free. I spent 3 weeks in China. It was an amazing experience. When we walked around Shanghai with our medals on, we felt famous. Everyone wanted to meet us and to speak to us using their English. We visited Chinese homes, schools, gardens, and restaurants. Fortunately for me, we found Pizza Hut, KFC, and an Irish pub to get some home-style cooking. China was once in a lifetime experience. When I returned home, I was honored at the Philadelphia Sports Writers Award dinner. There I met Jimmy Rollins, Harry Callis, Dan Baker, John Runyon, the Philly Fanatic, and Carly Lloyd. How has swimming impacted my life? I certainly would not be the person I am today without it. I have traveled to places I never dreamed about, met people who I have become lifelong friends and family, earned self-confidence, and made memories. It all started with a doctor who suggested that I become a swimmer, and a swim coach named Nisi Curtis. Thank you for listening.
What an amazing presentation. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. You did great. And one of the things I hope to inspire with this panel, or one of the things we were thinking about, is how to become, the next Nancy Curtis that figures out the pipeline to get swimmers through their lifetime with such amazing results. So thank you so much, Michael. Okay. I'm going to read a short introduction for our panelists, and then I'm going to ask you guys some questions. We'll take it from there. So our panelists bring more unique perspectives that span the spectrum of aquatic achievement and advocacy. Lauren Davidson is a Paralympic gold medalist and world record holder whose competitive excellence has inspired countless adaptive athletes. Bob Suffrage serves with Seagrit and is I know I said that wrong, I apologize, a long-serving lifeguard bringing decades of wisdom and about water safety and service. Ellis Peters represents Soma for Justice, a racial justice organization that has made swimming part of its mission. He brings experience as a swim coach, bridging equity and instruction. And Casey McGovern, the executive director of Every Child a Swimmer, works daily to protect children who are at the highest risk, to remove financial barriers through swim lessons, scholarships, ensuring that every child had the opportunity to learn this life-saving skill. So now, Lauren, I said that you were an Olympic medal holder, but you actually have 3 medals, which, not to brag, but I've seen in person. And you've been nominated by the Olympic Committee for Athlete of the Year twice, right?
Yes.
Can you give a brief overview of those accomplishments in case I missed anything, and explain how you learned to swim and became involved in the Paralympic program?
Sure, yeah. First of all, thank you for having me here today. I think what brought me into swimming was honestly a combination of chaos and love. I was a wildly energetic child, constantly moving, climbing, exploring, and my mom was looking for a safe way for me to channel all that energy. And she signed me up for swim lessons at my local Y when I was 5. I was definitely scared of the water at first. She had to bribe me with M&Ms just so I could get through each class. But over time, I became more comfortable, and eventually the pool became the place where I felt the most free, I would say. And my mom also realized pretty early on that I was a competitor, so she started looking for strong swim programs. So we were lucky enough to live next to Berkeley Aquatic Club, which is one of the best swim schools in the state. But it wasn't accessible, and they never had a disabled swimmer before. But that didn't stop my mom from pursuing this. She found a back entrance where garbage trucks picked up the garbage, and she had truckloads of gravel delivered to make a drivable path just so I could get inside the pool. So that grit earned me a 2-week trial with the team, which turned into years of training and competing with them, where I was always the only disabled swimmer. And at the same time, I was competing in wheelchair sports, track and field events, and also swimming events. And those doors open for national and international competitions, where eventually I made the United States Paralympic team, competing at the 2000 Paralympic Games in Sydney, Australia. So swimming started as a way to channel all that energy, and it grew into a place where I found confidence and freedom to move in ways in which the world didn't always allow.
Awesome.
That's my story.
You want to pass the
Yes.
mic, and maybe we can get everybody's How I Learned to Swim moment?
Yeah, so hi, I'm Bob Selfridge. I've been a lifeguard since 1981, so I'm kind of close to Ed, but not really. And the question, how do I learn to swim? The old school way. I grew up on the water on Long Beach Island, and basically, if we weren't in the ocean or in the bay, we weren't anywhere. So we had to learn to swim because at that point, there was no really formal swim training for kids in that area, because we didn't need a swimming pool because we had the ocean and the bay. So that's basically how I learned to swim.
I learned to swim at I believe it was a Silver Spring YMCA. I grew up in DC. My mom, I come from a family I'm the only swimmer. And my mom's boss suggested that I learn how to swim. She saw I was very energetic. And as a toddler, so I started in the parent-toddler class, and I worked my way up. And swimming's been a part of my life ever since then.
Good afternoon, everybody. My story is, I guess, different. I grew up in South Florida, and so we had water absolutely everywhere. just like we talked about, there was no formal swim lessons at that time, so we just kind of learned gradually. But I think that I gained most of my skills when I would visit Lake Champlain in Vermont. And then we would just spend a lot of time in the lake, and that's where I built on my skills. But I was never incredibly comfortable in the water. I was that parent that would always sit on the side of the step or on a float and just kind of be in my safe zone. It wasn't until I turned 40 years old that I actually went and had formal swim lessons as an adult and really learned the strokes and really gained confidence in and around the water.
Casey, I know it's a really personal story, but can you talk a little bit about your personal mission and what's brought you to your advocacy work, and even what probably prompted you to take swimming lessons at 40?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I'm a mom of a drowning victim. On August 3rd, 2009, my third child, which was our third daughter, 19 months of age, found her way out to our backyard swimming pool. It was one of those days that it was just everything was normal. However, perfect storm aligned for the situation to happen. We were in the pool that afternoon, enjoying the last days of summer, August 3rd. The kids went back to school the next week. I got out the first with them. Edna Mae was her name, or is her name. And I put her down for a nap. My husband followed me out soon after with our 3-year-old and our 11-year-old. And at that time, when he got inside, I went to the grocery store. And while I was at the grocery store, she had gotten up from her nap. So when I walked into the house, she met me in our family room as I brought my groceries in. So I proceeded to put her on the opposite side of the kitchen counter in a little glider, just so I had my eyes on her while I put my groceries away. And at the same time, my husband had a gentleman come over to conduct an interview. So they went into the front living room. I was in the back family room with the kitchen and the girls. And I just put my groceries away, put her in there with a snack and the TV while I did my chore, or do my duties, or whatever it would be. And husband called me in the other room to answer a question or ask me a question. So I went into the other room on the other side of the house. And when I had come back to continue, she wasn't where I had left her. And so, again, I wasn't really alarmed because our house was safe, I felt. I always encouraged everybody to come to our home because it was the safe house. And unfortunately, she wasn't where I had left her. But again, I was really comfortable and complacent. So I went bedroom to bedroom, looking through the house before I proceeded to go out to the door. And I even walked past my pool area where we had a little swing when I saw the glimpse of our daughter floating in our pool. And so I ran around and just grabbed her and held her and screamed to God to help me. And thankfully, my husband heard my screams and came running out and put her on the coping of the pool and started CPR. And because of his actions, we were given a week. The incident happened on a Monday, and we left her after donating her organs on the following Monday with no brain activity. We had to say goodbye. And upon leaving her, I made her a promise that I would do everything in my power to educate as many parents as I could so that it doesn't have to continue to happen. And she would be 18 years old on December 29th, and I won't stop. I won't stop. I just applaud all of you guys for spending this time investing on this topic. You're not all emotionally connected or personally affected, but you're here. And I just thank you so much for being included in this group. And fast forward quickly, I went into, after I lost my daughter, I knew I had to do something. So I started getting involved in all these community groups and task force and coalitions and anything that I could do for the preventative side. And a couple years into it, I accepted the position at the Department of Health running the drowning prevention program there in Florida, working on a statewide level for about 8 years, but realized that my hands were tied after a little bit of time and I wanted to do more. And so that was when we introduced Every Child Swimmer legislation initially, which then set the course of the program as it stands today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I know it's impossible to distill down, and I appreciate so much you sharing that story, but I'm going to ask you to distill it down because of the shortness of our panel. What do you think is the best way to close that knowledge gap for parents, even something as simple as check the pool first? Like, how do you think we as a group can, and broader than New Jersey, can get that message to the parents who need to hear it?
When I first lost him, it was check the water first, because in my situation, I feel like those seconds mattered. And I went around the house very complacent, and if she was in the house, she probably would have been causing, a mess, but she would have been safe. So check the water first. But now I just kind of feel that education is power. I think that what we really need to do is push that swim lessons need to be started before t-ball, ballet, dance, football, anything else. It's the first sport that any child should take, and it has to be a priority. And I think that that's what we have to normalize. I think we have to normalize that drowning is the #1 cause of death above anything else for children 1 to 4. Normalize the conversation, talk about it. It's a taboo topic, just like we talked about fire safety in the month of October. We all know stop, drop, and roll. But outside of this room, there's so many people that don't even think about water safety and drowning prevention. So normalize the conversation, make it the first sport that any child should take, and knowledge is power.
Thank you. Alice, we've gone back and forth a few years. Today's the first day we actually met, but one of the reasons I asked you to be on this panel and that caught my attention is your signature in your email.
Oh.
Which, do you want to, I'm going to recite it unless you want to.
You can recite.
Okay, it's, a man is not learned until he can read, write, and swim, from Plato. Which I love.
Yes, Plato.
And so I just want to ask, what ignited this passion for swimming, and how do you think people can distill it down and bring more people into the sport, especially from minority communities?
Well, for my personal story is I believe that I didn't realize how privileged I was to start swimming at a very young age, because as you get older and, middle school, high school, you start to kind of see how a lot of folks just don't know how to swim. And, coming from a family of non-swimmers, when, going on vacation or going somewhere, I'm the first one in the pool, and I'll see my whole family kind of just like hanging out on the sidelines. I think a lot of it comes down to access and opportunity. I think representation is also powerful. Just in my lifetime, I think for, my first 20 years, I didn't see a lot of Black people on television swimming. And, it can go for every activity, but we're talking about swimming in particular. So if you're someone that's young and you see someone that looks like you doing something, enjoying it, and even in I'm in my 50s now. So last 20 years, we've had Black Olympians swimming and winning medals. So their visibility, Cullen Jones from New Jersey, I believe he went to St. Benedict, yeah? So having these folks doing what they love, really enjoying it, inspires other people. And I think it's something that if you're not from a minority community, you're not aware of it. You won't have empathy for it. It's not on your radar. And, I understand. I feel like I'm in a privileged situation. And in all my experiences, I've kind of learned it's really important to pay it forward. It's really important for us to plant seeds that trees will grow. And we won't necessarily sit in the shade of it, but we have to plan forward for the folks that are coming behind us. And that's my involvement, and that's what I'm trying to do locally in South Orange and Maplewood, New Jersey.
Thank you. And you had a, I don't know what my time is, but you have a program at Maplewood Pool. Could you explain the sort of motives behind that, and maybe there's something in that others can replicate?
What we've done is it's funny because when I saw the safety plan and the collaboration was a part of it, what we've done is we set up partnerships with the Maplewood Pool, and Soma Justice is the nonprofit that I work for. I work for a swim school. I'm a program manager there, and we started to model a solution to how can we do a bit of outreach, offer folks lessons, give them the opportunity to access to a pool, because a lot of times there are like these barriers that folks don't consider. I went to a conference last September, and just in networking and meeting folks, a woman said, "Hey, I'll donate goggles to your program," and that is an issue. There are a lot of folks that just won't put their face in the water without goggles, and a lot of folks that can afford to buy goggles or know which goggles to wear or have been wearing goggles for a while. It's not a part of their thought process. But just being able to offer that, along with that, someone else emailed me in the beginning of the summer, and it was like, "Hey, I realized that swim caps, that's an issue on why some women might not want to get in the pool." So they donated a bunch of swim caps. So I was like, "Hey, do you have a pair of goggles?" "Oh, you don't? Here are the goggles." "Oh, you don't have a swim cap? Hey, let me give you the swim cap." Just to break down the barriers to get people in the door. And once they have their experience and they learn over time, again, opportunity and access, we've been able to, this past summer, I taught 160 30-minute swim lessons during the summer. It was my project. I didn't have a number in my head. I just thought that, like, hey, if I show up from when the pool opens and I stay up until the time where I have to pick up my daughter from summer camp, let's see how many lessons I can do. And I think that other folks seeing me do that haven't been inspired to do similar things. So hopefully we can offer opportunity access to as many people as possible.
Thank you so much. And I think we're going to talk more about that this afternoon. Bob,
Yes.
you have been a long-serving lifeguard, and I think one of the things that we hear year after year here is just about the lifeguard shortage. And I would imagine that it is not a super welcoming path forward for anybody who is 40 and above to become a lifeguard, maybe. And I'm just wondering how you see that issue, how you would bring people in, and what it's really done for you to be able to continue on.
Yeah, that's a great point. We're seeing more lifeguards over 40 now. Lifeguards from 16 to in their 20s, they're high school students, they're college students, they're limited in their amount of time. Everyone has a sport or something else going on, so it's really hard to keep a steady schedule of full-time lifeguards, say on a beach patrol or other areas. But so if we can get older people, maybe returning in, maybe retirees, it's an important thing. The other thing is training first responders, because first responders, police, fire, they go into water rescue situations with very little training, very little equipment. And so I think that's an important one as well, is to get the people that are on the front lines responding first. If you look at the statistics of water rescue deaths, it's the people trying to make the rescues, whether they're firefighters, police officers, or bystanders. I mean, that's where the problem is. Right. Back to the creating some kind of, I'm not sure what the word is, but a promotion for older lifeguards is, that's an important part of this process. And I think that would do that. Older people could they're not going to go away. They're not going to have to start school in August.
Right.
And that's super important for us.
Thank you. I'm going to ask the same question. If there's one thing you could say to facilities that maybe, are smaller towns or recreation departments, advice you could give them for reaching out when they're at their stub seasons and they're having a hard time, something that would have maybe attracted you to the idea had you not already been surfing?
Well, yes. I guess social media would be a great way to start for towns to looking for older lifeguards. Really good to have people that can mentor. The younger generation, maybe lifeguards who were guards when they were in their teens and 20s, now have some time on their hands, which is another great way of doing it. But overall, I think the social media access would be probably the easiest and most efficient way of doing it.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really think it's important to look at the different, sorry. just the diversity of perspectives and different ways to bring new people, high-risk people into the swimming world and community, and hopefully we can walk away with some ideas to reach the people that need swimming lessons the most, or need to guard beaches the most, is what I want to say. But, you know, the people we need the most in the room to save lives, no matter where they come from.
Bob McIntosh was going to be with us today, and Bob jumped in for us. Thank you so much. Bob McIntosh worked for me for he's been a lifeguard for 15 years. He was a beach lifeguard. Then he went into the adult world and worked a high-pressure job. And then upon retirement, went back into lifeguarding, and he worked for me. And he was the feature on Inside Edition on a video called Gray Watch. If you're late at night and you got to look at something, watch Gray Watch, and you'll see one of the main reasons that senior guards are so fabulous is they don't go back to school. And they can work in September. And I know my friends at Ocean City Water Park have a guard that went from the beach to the water park, and he commands a great deal of respect. So we're missing Bob today. He has the flu. He could not join us. But he recently just won an American Red Cross Award for a daring rescue under a diving board. And so our best wishes are with Bob McIntosh. Check out Gray Watch. Thank you so much. Would all the board members who are reading nominations please come to this side of the ramp, those of you that are reading nominations, because it is time for some really exciting things to happen. But first, we want to see St. Benedict's, who sent us a video. St. Benedict's, would you stand again? Because whether you like it or not, I have adopted you. I am Newark born and raised. What has happened at St. Benedict's garnered them a National Drowning Prevention Alliance Award last year. Hundreds of bathing suits from a neighbor of mine that goes to Newark once a week. And when they raise the bat signal for bathing suits for any of their teams, they get delivered the next day, because what Father Ed has been doing there and the focus on teaching these young men and women how to swim is just admirable. John, can you play that tape?
Nico Hasbom, one of our science teachers and water polo swimming coach here at St. Benedict's Prep, has asked me to say a word about our own experience with water safety, water familiarity, the ability to defend yourself in the water. So here at St. Benedict's in Newark, we require all of our freshmen to either pass a swimming test, or if they're unable to pass the test, to take swimming lessons here in school during the academic day, and with the goal of being able to defend themselves in the water. Once that's accomplished, and in 10th grade, they do a pretty sophisticated water challenge involving going off of an 8-foot tower into the water with their clothes on and a mask that they can't see out of, and having to take their pants off and inflate them. Many of us have done these things, but it's a little bit more difficult when you can't see because of the mask. It's blacked out. To build confidence in the water, so to be relatively certain that our students can defend themselves in most circumstances if they found themselves unexpectedly in water. And we know that our students are about 5 times more likely to drown than their white counterparts. So it's very important to us that the kids learn how to swim and to be able to defend themselves in adverse circumstances in the water. And then thirdly, we also teach life-saving courses, like lifeguard course, to our students during the course of the year for those who would like to be lifeguards and be able to work as a guard in the summer. So that's kind of a quick overview of our swimming experiences here at the St. Benedict's. And while I have the opportunity, I want to give a shout out to Judith Josephs, who contributed the bathing suits, swimsuits to our kids here at school. So I'm grateful to her for that. So have a great conference, and thanks to the work that you do.
Thank you, Father Ed. And it's his 80th birthday, I understand. Is that right, Nicole? Big to do in Newark. It's his 80th birthday, still committed to swimming and doing a remarkable job as an example to others around the country who should be doing the same thing. Thank you for coming today, and thank you for Father Ed's video. Thank you. Father Ed doesn't realize it. If I can stalk a state trooper and a congressman, I could sure as heck stalk a priest. That ought to be easy, right? And it's all for the good cause. All right, one of the main reasons we're here today, and I am thrilled to be narrating this portion, is there have been several exceptional things done in the area of water safety and water rescue that meet our 6 strategies. And I stalked a bunch of people that I read about or I saw on the television. And I even went as far as a labor union in Texas who gave me some phone numbers who I called. And why these people didn't hang up on me immediately, I don't know. But maybe it was the passion in my voice. So we're going to try to do these very quickly. But first, the first recipients are National Drowning Prevention Alliance Water Safety Champion winners, who also will be featured not only on their webpage, but at their conference in February as leading water safety champions. And we are Jersey proud about them. But first, let's hear from NDPA. John?
Hello, New Jersey. Greetings, and I hope you're having a wonderful Garden State Water Safety Summit 3.0. My name is Alyssa Magrum. I'm the Executive Director of the National Drowning Prevention Alliance. And in addition to saying welcome and hope you have a wonderful summit, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who is part of the New Jersey Swim Safety Alliance, who's been working so hard to release your New Jersey water safety strategy. Congratulations, this is amazing. I work at the national level with the NDPA, but I've also worked at the state level with multiple states that are also working on water safety strategies. So all of you there in that room and everyone who's not in the room who might see this message, congratulations, you are part of the leadership in this country who is putting the United States Water Safety Action Plan into play in local states and communities. So thank you. And I also want to say a huge congratulations to your water safety champions that are being honored today. The NDPA is happy to award a few water safety champion medals and certificates to those who are working in New Jersey, saving lives and loves all year round on beaches, at pools, and across the state. So thank you for your leadership. The NDPA is proud to partner alongside of you, and we wish you the best of luck at your summit and then also as you move forward in your work in New Jersey. Thank you for being a partner, and again, congrats to your water safety champions that are being honored today, and all of you are water safety champions to the NDPA. Have a wonderful summit.
And a former Jersey girl. Beautiful, thank you. All right, our first nomination will be read by Sergeant Karen Fahey, a good friend of NJSSA, New Jersey State Police Marine Services Division. Sergeant?
Good morning again, everyone. Thank you for having me. Judith, thank you again. She's a very compelling person. It's very difficult to say no to her, and it's such an important topic that we're discussing here today. So it is a true honor to be invited by the Swim Safety Alliance and the National Drowning Prevention Alliance to present this award to Patrolman Dave Brazanski. Hope I'm saying that correctly. Law enforcement officers often find themselves in unique situations, some routine, some challenging, and some truly meaningful. Every so often, an incident arises that reminds us why we do what we do. On February 3rd, 2025, an 11-year-old boy fell through the ice at Franklin Lake in West Long Branch. His life was saved by Patrolman Brazanski of the West Long Branch Police Department, who was the first to arrive on scene. Without hesitation and equipped only with a rescue line secured to himself, Patrolman Brazanski entered the icy water to reach the child. The boy, who was walking home from school alone, attempted to take a shortcut across the frozen pond. For several weeks, the lake had been frozen solid and often used for skating and hockey, but that afternoon the temperatures climbed to the 50-degree temperatures, weakening the ice. The boy fell into an area where the water was only up to his shoulders. Thankfully, he remained in the water for several minutes before a passerby noticed and called 911. Patrolman Brazanski acted immediately upon arrival. Excuse me. Patrolman Angelo Marone and Sergeant Ryan Buck and members of the West Long Branch Volunteer Fire Company assisted on scene, pulling both the officer and the child safely back to shore. The boy was cold, frightened, and crying, but thankfully otherwise unharmed. The incident could have ended very differently if not for a fortunate combination of quick action, skilled response, and timely reporting. Similar Accidents across New Jersey have not always had such positive outcomes, especially as warming temperatures thin the ice at the end of the winter. Thanks to Patrolman Brzezowski's selfless bravery and the teamwork of local responders, a young life was saved, and the community was reminded of the extraordinary dedication behind everyday service. Sadly, cold water and ice-related emergencies occur far too often in the state. Through continued awareness and education, particularly for children and parents, we can help prevent such incidents in the future. Accepting this award is Patrolman Dave Brzezowski from Long Branch PD.
There will be an opportunity for meet and greet and official photos right when we break for lunch. But Dave, is it true that this is your dad in the front row? Take a stand, Dad. Take a stand. Pride in our children never goes away. Dave is not in uniform today because he was hurt in a training incident, but he's recovering, he's doing well, and congratulations to you. And Sergeant Fahey, thank you. You can also visit Sergeant Fahey, who does an education program on ice rescue in the exhibit hall. So please do stop and see Sergeant Fahey. Congratulations. We'll get a formal picture at lunch. All right, the next National Drowning Prevention Alliance Award, and this one is huge. Joining us to read the nomination is Board Member Joe Omi. Joe?
Thank you, Judith. My name is Joe Omi. I'm a founding board member of the New Jersey Swim Safety Alliance, and like I said before, I'm the founder of New Jersey Swim Schools and the NJ Swim brands. Two Conrail employees, Paul Claudius and Barry Sanders, were hailed locally as heroes for saving a man from fast-moving floodwaters in Piscataway, New Jersey, during storms in July 2025. They found an unresponsive man floating face down, pulled him from the water, administered CPR until he regained consciousness before paramedics arrived. The New Jersey Swim Safety Alliance was proud to nominate Paul and Barry for their courage and fearless response to someone in need. Without any concern for their own safety, they jumped into the muddy floodwaters to rescue a stranger without hesitation. This is a tribute to their humanity and an example of the value of water safety education and CPR training. When trained for emergencies, we each can become water safety champions. Heroes don't always wear capes or bathing suits or camouflage. These railroad workers most certainly deserve the National Drowning Prevention Alliance's Water Safety Champion Award. It may not be the typical rescue of water safety education efforts usually awarded by this medal, but an exceptional example of good citizens doing what they can to help others. We also congratulate Conrail on their efforts in educating their employees in CPR and other first aid trainings that saved lives that day. Here's the rescue details. The incident. While responding to a call about downed power lines, Conrail employees Paul Claudius and Barry Sanders noticed a man struggling in the floodwaters in Piscataway. The man was face down in water that was about 9 feet deep. Once the man stopped moving, Claudius jumped into the floodwater and pulled him to safety. Sanders immediately began CPR, and Claudius later assisted with mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, reviving the man. The man was taken to a local hospital and made a full recovery. The New Jersey Swim Safety Alliance is proud to have nominated these two gentlemen for their National Drowning Prevention Alliance Water Safety Champion Award. Please join me in congratulating Paul Claudius and Barry Sanders for their act of heroism that day. We are Jersey proud. Come on up, gentlemen.
also with Paul and Barry today are representatives from Conrail, and we want to applaud them for training and education, which is so very important. Congratulations to Conrail as well, and to the wives and family members of these two heroes. Congratulations, fellas. Let's get a picture. Did we get a picture? Christine, are we good? And then again, there will be pictures at the Step and Repeat in the lunchroom, formal pictures, because they certainly deserve that. And thank you for the members of Conrail for being here today. And I'm looking forward to you joining as members of the New Jersey Swim Safety Alliance. Bring that back, all right?
Thank you. Great job.
Beautiful, folks. Next. Okay, this is pretty exciting. This next nomination being read by Board Member Andy Krupa.
As mentioned, I am a board member, but I'm also a former surf lifeguard, Seaside Park and Spring Lake Beach Patrol, of which Dave was one of my guards years ago. So congratulations to you, Dave. But today, it's my pleasure to introduce the National Drowning Prevention Alliance Water Safety Award, Champion Award. New Jersey beach lifeguards and trained beach lifeguards worldwide are essential employees and should be considered first responders for their selfless efforts to keep their beaches safe for all who visit. The Lavalette Beach Patrol is no different. Daily rescues are a common occurrence at the Jersey Shore, but recent replenishment projects and rip currents have added a whole new level of danger at our beaches. NJSSA would like to recognize the Lavalette Beach Patrol as a tribute to all New Jersey beach lifeguards on the occasion of their amazing rescue of 20 children washed out to sea during a fun day of camp at the beach. The following is a recap of that rescue that took place on White Avenue, Beach Number 2, August 11th, 2025. Throughout the day, Lavalette Beach Patrol had numerous assists because of the shifting and new sandbars created, as mentioned, by the replenishment project. To counter these issues, the patrol was constantly moving lifeguard stands and adjusting swim areas to keep swimmers away from the more dangerous areas. At about 1:45 p.m. on White Avenue, there were a group of swimmers from the Lavalette Yacht Club sailing school on a sandbar. A set of waves came in and washed out the sandbar, turning this area into a dangerous situation by pulling them out to sea. White Avenue senior guards, Chase Adams, Sergeant Jeff Horn, went right in and enacted a rescue. It was called over the radio, which alerted the entire patrol. One of the other remaining lifeguards, Tristan Rodriguez, swam out the rescue line simultaneously. Guards were bumping down as they were coming from both directions to support the rescue efforts. At this point in time, the group of 20 sailing school swimmers were scattered in the surf, so it was a very, very difficult situation. Lieutenant Joe Casino and Captain Jack Casino were in one of the beach vehicles and arrived on scene. Captain Jack took charge of the scene, and Lieutenant Joe assisted in the rescue. At that time, there were 8 guards in the water, and many were on their way. All swimmers were secured, but they still had to get them in against the rip current. With the final arrival of about 5 or 6 more lifeguards, we're a team, as Chuck says, they were able to get all of them safely to shore. The entire Beach Patrol did an amazing job, and special recognition for their efforts above and beyond go to Chase Adams, Sergeant Jeff Horn, Brady Crone, Adam McCromie, Julie Ulrich, and Lieutenant Joe Casino. Today, Captain Jack Casino, Councilman Mike Stodgill, and Pam Casino, beach attendant supervisor, are here to accept the award on behalf of the Lavalette Beach Patrol and will proudly display the medal and certificate from NDPA at the Beach Patrol headquarters. They accept the recognition in honor of their colleagues throughout New Jersey who risked their lives for others to be able to safely enjoy our beaches. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the Lavalette Beach Patrol representatives, as I mentioned.
You could jump in a picture at the end. Councilman Mike Stodgel is here, and he makes sure that they get the equipment they need to be one of the premier lifeguard teams on the Jersey Shore. And as I mentioned earlier, Jack comes from a long lineage of lifeguards. Can you see how excited these heroes are to get awards? I've never seen more stoic. I know it's hard to get awards, isn't it? But give me a little smile, will you? All right, let's get a picture, and then we'll be doing formal pictures in the lunchroom. Congratulations, guys. Did I mention I live in Lavalette, New Jersey? Okay. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Love you guys. Thank you. And we have some extras for you to take back to the team or City Hall or wherever I can hit them up for some more money. So these organizations cannot run without volunteers. And since the day I dialed this young man's number, he has been nothing but stellar and never says no. And I keep yelling, John, change the slide. The volunteer of the year is John Roche. Okay?
He's in the back. He's like, no, no, no. So I would like to congratulate John for Volunteer of the Year. NJSSA is a volunteer-run organization. We have the board, and then we have other amazing volunteers. And John is always there saying yes. His calm presence with logistics of, hey, what do you need? Sure, we have a solution. So everyone needs to have that solution person, and for us, that is John. So we would just like to thank John for always having the space for us and just always doing the logistics and just finding a way to make everything work. So thank you, John.
John runs Crystal Springs Family Water Park, which some 30 years ago, I was involved in making it happen here, the first municipally owned and operated water park in the East. And John, every 4th of July, sends me a picture of a plaque with a beautiful sentiment. He is a gentleman beyond words. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Okay, real quickly, because then we want to get to legislative and then we want lunch, right? Right? Can the heroes smile a little bit? Can the award? Thank you. Look at that. They have teeth. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I know that's the last thing that people in public service want to do. And the Conrail story just blew me away. And the ice story, I'm so afraid of ever getting caught in the ice. So thank you all. And the amount of love and pride that you brought to Lavalette, New Jersey that day is amazing, and we are grateful for it. All right, the bathing suit drive. I happen to be the chairman of the bathing suit drive. Can we see anyone who has collected bathing suits in the audience? Beautiful. Can we see the hands of people who have received bathing suits in the audience? Beautiful. So I keep talking about St. Benedict's. There's their water polo team. And let me tell you a quick story. I called Nicole. We sent a shipment of jammers and all kinds of bathing suits up to St. Benedict's. I have a little delivery system. Probably could go into the drug market, illegal drug market, because I have a series of people all over the state that deliver and pick up bathing suits. And it's an interesting myriad. So my neighbor goes once a week to Newark. So they raise the bat signal, off go the bathing suits. So when I heard the story, I called Nicole and I said, Nicole, I happen to have these jammers, but they're not the same color. And what are the colors of St. Benedict's? Because I would hate for you to have bathing suits that don't match your color. She said, Judith, Right now, some of our water polo guys are practicing in their underwear. Send them. And we did, and they modeled them. And look at how beautiful they are in those brand new bathing suits. So I congratulate them, and they're looking good. And from what I understand, Stephanie Grebe, if you can come and join me up here, Stephanie also sent another box because you needed something to start the season. And the story is they get issued Benedict's suits. But if you wear those suits every single day, when you're ready for a meet, they are pretty worn out. So they practice in our suits. So Benedict's takes care of them, but we take care of their practice. So here they are. There's their water polo team. And here are some of the young recipients of our bathing suits. The 3 barriers to children getting into swim lessons are transportation, finances, and believe it or not, today in New Jersey, bathing suits. We have heard stories where there have been free lessons and free transportation where more than 50% of the kids that show up have no bathing suit. So they have to sit on the side or they have to go home. And that just broke our hearts. In 2018, Christine Palma, raise your hand, Christine, you started it at Breakwater Beach in 2018. She collected bathing suits for her sister's homeless women and children's program in Mercer County. And she collected just shy of 100. I saw her doing it and saying, New Jersey Recreation and Parks has got to get involved with that. And Chris, by the way, that means come on up here. And when we did, we went to 400 bathing suits. And then we went to 600 bathing suits as a joint collaboration. Then Stephanie Grebe's number came my way from Dolphin Swimwear, Elite Swimwear. And we exploded into 1,200, 1,400. And I am proud to announce this week we hit over 10,000 bathing suits collected. They are all in my basement and assorted garages, and we'll get into that. But public pools collected them, churches collected them, fire departments collected them. There were collections, lemonade stands. There were a little boy in North Jersey who gave up his birthday presents and said, give me bathing suits. And then my friends from the Aqua Mob sent that kid tickets to water parks here in New Jersey as his birthday present. And thank you again to Breakwater Beach for that. And he continues to collect bathing suits instead of birthday presents. We've had ducks. Where's Westfield? Raise your hand. Westfield got creative. There's Westfield. And they sold rubber duckies. And they had a rubber ducky race to win a season pass. And that money came to us to have all the handling, the boxes, the plastic. We thank you for that. And I have to say, in the spirit of recycling, we not only collect goggles, which the 10,000 bathing suits comes with 3,000 goggles. We recycle goggles. Any of you who have children, you know immediately they lose their goggles, one-time use, right? Well, we recycle them. We collect them, we sanitize them, we sort them, and we give them back out. Recycling at its best, right? Somehow, Westfield went into their lost and found and sent 300 goggles. 300 kids lost their goggles on the first day of the beautiful water park in Westfield. So you get a shout out. She does want a crystal goggle, and I ran out of time, but I will endorse some goggles with crystals, and you can hang it at your Westfield office. Connie, I mentioned before, Connie Urkel Foundation, gave a CPR class. In order to get into it, you had to pay with a bathing suit. So these are all creative ways. And the interesting thing is the number, hundreds of thousands of social media impressions that say what is our motto. Bathing suits lead to swim lessons. Swim lessons save lives. That alone, our water park friends, our public pool friends, our nonprofits, all saying that over and over. We're hoping that they keep hearing it and they start to believe it and they start to accept it. So I think everything from collecting bathing suits to goggles to the social media impressions, it is amazing, absolutely amazing. And we more than tripled. I just have to say quickly, in your packets, in your swag bags, there's a list of commercial entities that have given us incredible numbers of bathing suits. The Swimsuit Station in Ocean Township, New Jersey, if you're in a position to buy them, it's amazing to me. The Swimsuit Station, over 2 years, gave us 3,894 bathing suits, all premium, all top quality, beautiful bathing suits. That's in the category of $50,000 to $60,000 retail. That owner, female-owned business, was so inspired, she signed up at 76 years old for swim lessons. She got the message. We have had people that have told us that because they heard about children not having bathing suits, they ran out to the store and bought every one they could find. And every day I have a basket on my porch and someone gives bathing suits. It's amazing. Also, B&B department stores, if you go to the Jersey Shore, they've been very helpful. Those of you that have lifeguards, the original Waterman Company, 400 bathing suits in their first year. The owner is from Jersey, a former Jersey lifeguard. He told me he loved Muller's coffee cake. I sent him a coffee cake. He sent me 1,200 top-of-the-line lifeguard bathing suits. Amazing! Shipped from California. Do you know what 1,200 bathing suits looks like in your living room? It ain't easy, let me tell you that. And water safety products. If you buy bathing suits for lifeguards, Water Safety Products never says no. Right now, 7 boxes are probably on my front porch, and they have given us hundreds and hundreds. So a little coffee cake goes a long way. All right, so now here comes Stephanie Grebe. Stephanie, come on over here. Stephanie got involved when I got her phone number. Poor Stephanie. And she heads up Dolphin Elite Swimwear. And she has been nothing more than incredibly generous. She has given us her marketing team. So when you want to collect bathing suits, you go to a Dropbox, you print out everything, banners, certificates, thank you notes, everything. She's made it so easy. Hundreds of hours of her marketing team. Amazing. We can't even quantify the price tag on that. And hundreds, thousands of bathing suits. You are a lifesaver, Stephanie. And every time the bat signal goes up, like our friends at Benedict's, a box appears. Let's hear it for Dolphin Swimwear. You want to say something?
Oh, thank you. It's an honor, and our company is just so happy to support what's happening here in New Jersey, and that it will take off through the country as it should. I do want to mention, I didn't realize that was your husband. I think he side-eyed me because he realized I'm the one that sends multiple boxes. But no, it's, again, it's a joy. And I think now that company knows we had to shut down again, we always do once a year and do inventory, and the DC always finds suits, and in the apparel industry, there's a lot of waste. You will see product being thrown out, and they now know there's a directive that nothing gets thrown away because I will find a home. And it has gotten wind because at other events I attend, people are asking for donations. So I've spread the love outside New Jersey, but this has always been my home. But it's a lot of organizations that for swim lessons and all different demographics. But I think what you have done, you've inspired our whole company. We have other brands, but to really this outreach and to help save lives by providing swimsuits, goggles, caps, and again, just saving lives, and we can do it. Thank you.
The folks at Walmart sent us 7,500 swim diapers. They're in my basement. Come on over in the middle. The photographer is calling for that. So it's amazing. When you go home, mention to someone that you were here and that children in New Jersey don't have one bathing suit. They will not believe it. And the minute they hear it, they're out shopping for bathing suits. It's a reality. And just as the folks from SOMA mentioned, if you don't have a bathing suit, if you don't have goggles, you can't go for a swim. And these bathing suits, these are no hand-me-downs. These are no secondhand. Some of the price tags, I'm shocked. We get price tags in the $50, $60, $100 range. It's astounding. Not only do they get into swim lessons, but they do it with great dignity. And I think that's what's really important. So if you know someone that gives free swim lessons from their agency, I'm your gal. If you know and want to collect bathing suits, I'm your gal. We need more collections. With the 10,000, we distributed 4,000 statewide, delivered 4,000 bathing suits, thousands of goggles. Now we have inventory that I can get it out to your agencies even faster this year. We finally have inventory. And we have gotten teenagers to help. We have gotten fire companies to help sort. And we'll tell you more about that. All right, so the big competition is for the championship belt. This is the championship belt. So this belt was won last year by Millburn Recreation. Here to get the belt is Chris Myers, the past president of NJRPA, but the director in Millburn Recreation, for the win of the championship belt. Now, very clever gentleman that he is. If you go to Millburn to donate a bathing suit, you get to get a picture with the championship belt. And they collected this year, together with SwimQuest. Ken Gantman, are you here? Ken? Can you come on up, Ken, please? Yes, you do. You have to come up. Come on now. Ken Grant. So Ken, stay up here. Look at how I boss people around. It's terrible, isn't it? So if you want to offer condolences to my husband, he'll be in the lunchroom. Thanks to SwimQuest, well, Chris and Millburn were slightly off on their collection this year. But SwimQuest, Ken Gantman, he has a certificate there, SwimQuest. Ken, come on out. Ken said that belt is not leaving Millburn. I mean, this got ugly. It got ugly. And Ken said that belt is not leaving. So Ken donated $276 to give them the grand total of $505 to hold that championship belt. Come on, Ken. No. The belt. Somebody else, get out of here. Go ahead. One belt's enough. Get out of here trying to take two belts. Let's get a picture of these two. So Ken, this puts you in the hot seat for next year if you want to keep that belt. But how clever. Kids came to get a picture with the belt if they gave a bathing suit. Very, very clever. Congratulations, guys. That's 3 years that Millburn has won. There seemed to be a little bit of competitive nature between them and Monmouth County Park System, who cleaned out their trophy case in anticipation of winning the belt. The case is still empty. However, it's inspiring. Correct? Inspiring. Okay. Now, because Chris had a little extra help, Chris, we need you in the photos because Chris is the past president of NJRPA. So because Chris had help, I said, this isn't right. There are two people in the audience. I'd like them to come up because they get the championship belt. We have Michael Pirro and Allison Ionel. Michael, are you here? They signed up to come. What? Well, Sea Caucus Recreation. 305 bathing suits collected. In Sea Caucus, they have such a commitment to swimming that it's free for residents. There are beautiful pool complexes, free for residents, but it's $20 to bring a guest. So if you brought a bathing suit, you got a guest pass. The cost to that township was over $3,000. Commitment from the drive, and they called the drive the Mayor's Drive for bathing suits, and they gave it away. 305 guest passes, $6,100 venue. They're not here, so let's just say congratulations, Sea Caucus. And they're going to have hell to pay that they didn't come. They signed up. I don't know where they are. I don't know. That's not good. Okay, so I mentioned the swimsuit station and original water, and so now here's the real heroes of the swimsuit collection. So bathing suits arrive at my home in very heavy boxes. Over the last several years, in addition to working with some high school groups and some local volunteers, the residents of New York Avenue have been tortured by sorting bathing suits, counting bathing suits, sizing bathing suits, cleaning goggles, bagging, delivering, and picking up bathing suits. Now, when it first started, 100 bathing suits, no big deal. 400 bathing suits, no big deal. 10,000 bathing suits is a big deal. So I get out the bottles of wine, I get out the food, and I start calling people up and down New York Avenue, friends of mine, and we start to sort, including my suffering family, who now know every bathing suit ever manufactured. And they are the heroes. So the first person I want to thank is my neighbor, Brenda DeMasi, who not only sorts and stacks and picks up and delivers bathing suits, she gave me her garage. She gave me the crawl space completely under her house. Some of her family does not know that, but they are there. And when a bathing suit box arrives at my house, I get a text. Sweet Jesus, tell me that's not bathing suits. Brenda Namasi. Come on up, Brenda. She hates this. She hates it. Come on, Brenda. I'm going to pay for this, you know. She's my neighbor. And it's been years of counting bathing suits, and it ain't easy. Bathing suits are heavy and goggles, but she is a pro. She's also a great pickup and delivery person. Let's give it a hand to Brenda Namasi. Brenda cannot swim, but I'm damn determined to get her to swim. Come on, Brenda. Come on. You got to go over there, Brenda.
Paying for dinner on Friday.
She just said, I'll pay for dinner tomorrow. Well, you better, because I'm hungry. This is Brenda. Make her feel better. Thank you, Brenda. And Brenda, right now, seven boxes from Water Safety Products are on the front porch. So I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so we've joked about it, but we own a truck, a very big truck, a Denali something, I don't know, fancy. You can see this from satellites in space, and my husband, of course, had to have this truck. So all these years, this man, the long-suffering Jim Josephs, has been to every pool in the state of New Jersey. He has delivered suits. He has picked up suits. I lie to him all the time. I said, we have to go to Ocean Township to pick up a couple boxes. How many boxes? I don't know, a couple boxes. We come driving home to Lavalette, looking like the Beverly Hillbillies, with boxes tied down with rope. And this sweet man does it without an argument. Here's the problem. Every time we go for a pickup or delivery, I have to buy lunch. He's a very big eater, and it's cost me a bundle. The other day, he said to me, "Hun, you're running a bathing suit business, and you have no employees." I said, "I got you." The long-suffering Jim Josephs is getting a Water Safety Champion Award. I married a man that doesn't talk much, and you can understand why he married me. I do all the talking. Come on, honey. Look at this guy. Dreamy blue eyes. Let's hear it for him. All the husbands in the audience understand. A little white lie is not so bad sometimes when it has to do with bathing suits. Thank you, hon. Oh, yeah, you're a champion. Okay, go sit down. He'll be sleeping in the truck later. Okay, it's time for our legislative panel. Let's hear it for this incredible project, the bathing suit and goggle drive. I never knew there were so many patterns to bathing suits, and we have seen them all. All right, so the panelists for the legislative panel, please come on up. Jack, I see you. Come on up. We have Casey McGovern, Dominic Mondi, Jack, Sergeant Karen Fahey, Bob Hazen. Come on up. And this is my colleague Joe. And Amit, yep, I think it's on. That would be for them. Kate Gamberg is also here from Assemblyman Kane's office. Come on up, Kate. Move a chair over if we need.
Yeah, I'll move a couple chairs.
Okay, you guys are sharing.
Panel got bigger. Bob, you guys
That's
sit
all
by
right.
yourself.
I'm not a big sitter.
Go ahead.
It's almost lunch, I promise.
We have enough chairs? Bob, you're going to have to stand. We should. They said you were staying because you stand so straight. Well, this is kind of a dream team for me. Once again, I'm Joe Omi. I'm also the legislative chair for the NJ Swim SA. And we came together during COVID. And what I don't think anyone mentioned, but we are all volunteers. We don't get paid for this. This is our side gig and our mission. And I think we're all mission driven in this room. So when we talk about legislation, and I think, we're speaking to the choir here, but when we came together, we decided we really wanted to have one voice. And it was in those meetings during COVID where we came together and said, what are the important channels that we want to explore? And certainly legislation was one of them. I'm going to quickly introduce so everyone here, if I can, and then I'll let you guys introduce yourselves, if you will. So thank you so much for coming. We have Dominic Mondi, who's the executive director of NESPA. We have Bobby Hazen, who is our brother in arms in New York, and he is the water safety advocate on the Water Safety Commission in New York, and also for Stop Drowning Now, he's the executive director. And you met Jack a couple times, and thank you, Jack, for coming. And Kate Gamberg is been on my speed dial for a number of years now. She's Sean Keene's, my assemblyman in New Jersey. Well, not anymore, but we changed districts. But District 30, Sean Keene, who initiated our first bills in 2015. He couldn't be here today, but Kate's here to represent Sean. And Casey McGovern is here up as well, and she's going to talk about what legislation is important to her. And Sergeant Fahey, who's been an advocate also and has introduced some water safety bills on the water in New Jersey. So why don't we start with you, Dominic? We'll go right down the road here. And why is water safety legislation important for us all? And you can just give a little background on, we can do Christmas past, present, and future, if you will, since we're in the spirit of things. Tell us a little bit about some legislation that you've supported with us.
Sure. So thank you, Joe, and everybody. I was communicating with some folks back in my office saying that this is one of the most humbling experiences I have every year. Just 100+ people all dedicated to making everybody's lives better, trying to save lives here in the state of New Jersey. And the legislative process, or the result of that, which is public policy, is incredibly important to all of these efforts. The Christmas past is 8 years ago when I started working as executive director at NESPA. I probably wouldn't have been sitting here because I don't believe our industry, the pool and spa industry, was completely on board. There was still a little bit of a fear around even discussing the issue. And I have to say, there's been a few people over the last decade in our industry who have really been champions. One of them is my counterpart in Washington, D.C., Sabina Hickman. But the other one is Casey McGovern, who's sitting up here. And they've both turned the page on the industry from drownings and drowning prevention is something that we shouldn't talk about as business owners to something that we have to embrace and accept as a cause that we can have a meaningful impact on. So as that relates to legislation, we advocate regularly for all of the initiatives that Drowning Prevention Alliance, Swim Safety Alliance here in New Jersey are working on to bring that awareness to the public. We also work on a lot of other related legislation. I think the most important thing to understand with legislation and public policy looking forward is the value of coalitions and coalition building, and that's what the underlying principle of the Swim Safety Alliance really is. It's bringing a whole bunch of groups with a whole different set of experiences together to build a coalition that can have a true impact. So we spend a lot of time working on improving the building codes for pool construction. That's very much a safety-related issue. It's not the center of the bullseye of the discussion here, but you guys, everybody involved in the Swim Safety Alliance have been supportive of anything we've needed. Conversely, we take your lead. Anything we can do support through our organization, through our volunteers, or through our representation in Trenton to drive safety awareness, drowning prevention, causes, et cetera. So it's really a team building exercise, and that's why we're involved.
Thank you. And Dominic's been with me several times in Trenton testifying. And I should say that in New Jersey, and I'm going to preface this when New York comes up, but we've got 9 bills active right now on water safety legislation that are circling around in a couple of committees, and we're looking to push those through. We've been actively demonstrating our presence in Trenton, and Casey's been there with me a couple of times too. So I'm going to tell you a little bit, or Bobby will tell you a little bit more about the success that New York has had ahead of us, and we kind of follow along with their footsteps, and we applaud them for their efforts.
Yeah, thank you everyone for all the work you do. Bobby Hazen, I'm on the New York Water Safety Coalition, also the executive director of the National Stop Drowning Now. I've been in the industry for 28 years, started off in the swim school industry as a lifeguard and as an instructor. And I found it very strange that when I was at the swim school, our phones would ring after there was a non-fatal or a fatal drowning event in our area in Long Island, New York. So I asked the owner, I said, why are they calling us after instead of before? And he said, that's a good question. Why don't you find out? So I started a coalition out on Long Island, and that's how this whole thing kind of started. And I wanted to try to figure out what could we do to get the word out there about saving lives before and getting the education to these kids and to these families at an early age. I think working together as a collaborative effort has to be the only way we're going to make a difference. If we all work together for one united cause, that's how we're going to do it. And New York has been very successful. We use a lobbyist group called State and Broadway, and the New York Water Safety Coalition goes up to Albany, and we try to lobby for action each and every year. And we've been doing this since 2020. And the reason we started the lobby group was really because of COVID. We wanted to make water safety swim lessons essential. That's how the whole thing started. And then we said, hey, you know, we could do something more with this. And let's start to see if we can make some change with legislation. And so far, Governor Hochul has been very, very accepting of what we're trying to accomplish and passed the New York Swims objective. Where she's put over $100 million into swim lessons for needy families and transportation, and New York Swims. It helps, just drive the legislations there. We've been successful with 3 bills in New York. One of the bills is a hospital video bill, which makes every new parent in a hospital or a birthing center must watch a video on drowning prevention and water safety education. I just think that is amazing, and we're hoping every state across the country follows that. We've been very successful with also with S5815 and 6205, which basically took the public safety campaign that New York has, and even though drowning is the leading cause of death for children ages 1 to 4, there was nothing in the rotation about water safety or drowning prevention. So now that's been mandated to be part of the Department of Health's water safety campaign to be to talk about water safety and drowning prevention education. And then this past year in 2025, we were successful, and I'll let Casey kind of talk about it, but we got every child the swimmer passed in New York. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm new to this party, so one of the reasons why I guess was asked to come up here is that when we talk about pools and the ocean and open water, at the end of the summer, we're always struggling to get lifeguards. And during the season, we're always struggling to get lifeguards at the beginning of the year because you can go to Wawa and make just as much money as working on the beach. So, and not that there's anything wrong with working in Wawa, but we feel that to be a lifeguard, you have to have additional training. You have to go through all those steps. And to be an ocean water lifeguard, you are a first responder. And we need to make sure that we can pass legislation in the state to make open water lifeguards first responders, because we're not at this time. And that exposes us to a lot of different things. From what we've been gathering, but we don't know what the status right now. During the summer, Wildwood Crest was sued because it was over a flag issue, and whether Wildwood Crest was correct or not, the people were sued individually and personally. That means that they can go after them civilly, which means that you as a guard, you're exposed and not protected by your town or your institution. So that's a huge concern. And that's why we need to. I know that one of the candidates who didn't win was supporting us with this, and I know he introduced it in the past. We're hoping that this should be a bipartisan bill that should get out there, because we have so many miles of open water in New Jersey. If we can't protect our lifeguards, make them first responders, make it something that they want to do, because it's something good on their resume, so we don't have to struggle to get guards. So we go from there.
And Jack, the day after we met in Lavalette, I had Kate on speed dial, and you can hand the microphone over to her so she could tell you a little bit more about the progress there.
That was a good segue.
Beautiful segue.
My name is Kate Gamberg. I'm Chief of Staff for Assemblyman Sean Keane. He represents District 30, which is parts of Monmouth and Ocean County. At this point, beach towns, he represents Belmar and Avon, but throughout the years, he's represented a variety of them. So in 2017, a really tragic incident happened in Belmar, and 2 girls drowned. And at that time, many people, including Joe, came to Assemblyman Keane and said, we have to do something. And, you know, like I said, Joe came to him, but lifeguards, teachers, parents of other drowning victims came to the Assemblyman and said, you know, we've got to do better. So at that point, Assemblyman Keane introduced a bill that would include water safety to be taught as part of the curriculum for health and physical education. So since 2017, he has continued to introduce this bill. Sometimes it goes through the process a little bit further, but it's never made it fully. That said, Joe has also brought a number of other water safety bills to the Assemblyman, and Sean is always willing to sponsor them. So to make lifeguards first responders, we are in the process of that. Assemblyman Keane is also on similar legislation to New York to do the video for parents about the dangers of drowning. New parents, when they're leaving the hospital or birthing center, have to watch a video about the dangers of drowning. He's also on another bill that schools would do a fact sheet to people enrolling their children about water safety, and also it would include information about free and reduced priced swim lessons. And some of those bills are moving and they have bipartisan support. There's a number of legislators throughout the state who realize how important this is, not just our shore legislators. So Sean has always believed that swimming is for all. I know that was your theme, but he gets it. And, you know, it's not just for our kids who live at the beach. It's for everyone. And if they could have the knowledge to swim safely, then we're all in a better position. You know, sadly, we hear from first responders. We hear from the people who were there when tragic incidents happen. And, you know, we need to make it more safe for everyone, for the swimmers and for the community.
Thank you, Kate. And I think that's another great segue, because Casey will speak to the bills for about the fact sheet. When we first went to introduce the water safety education, the education committee in New Jersey wouldn't hear it. They didn't want to add more. When anyone talked about mandating anything to teachers, they kind of shunned away. So we stepped back, we visited Florida, we talked with Casey, we talked with New York, and we kind of rewrote a more basic information packet that we can give families information on where to get water safety. I mean, if we can crack the code on that, hopefully we can get that through. But Casey, do you want to talk a little bit about what your bills entail?
Yeah, of course. So we call the Every Child Swimmer legislation the school bill, and now, you know, modeling it after the New York one, which is the hospital bill. Part A and Part B, 2 pivotal points in a parent's life is really what we're trying to achieve. And the Every Child Swimmer school bill requires or mandates schools to share water safety information, fact sheets, whatever means that they will be able to share. We ask them to share, as well as where to go for local swim lessons. And what we also do in addition to that is we ask our swim school partners to be able to partner with us to go into the school systems. Initially, they weren't really allowed or supported to come into the schools because they were for profit. In essence, they're selling a product. However, with our partnering with the Every Child a Swimmer program, not only can they provide lessons to those that can afford it, but we can come up and stand beside them to be able to fund lessons that they can't afford. And so they're able to go into the schools, providing those presentations, providing those on-land presentations at no cost, and also just another resource for those schools to be able to educate the demographic. Part B is the hospital bill, which requires right now the New York Water Safety Coalition, and Bobby was definitely the lead on that, created a 6-minute video made by the United States Swim School Association. Department of Health has edited it, but it's still very good. And again, at a pivotal point in a parent's life, to educate them before they leave the hospital with a new child. I would like to add a little bit more to that because I would like a touch point when the child becomes mobile, but we're working on that and trying to improve it so that the hospitals understand the value of doing this and creating a metric that's attached to it. We've had success with the legislation on the school front in 8 states. First was Florida, then we went to Georgia and Arkansas, New York, Arizona, New Mexico, California, and Washington State did it as well with community partners. So right now we're just trying to model that same thing as like I talked about earlier. Fire safety is the month of October. We all talk about fire safety. All of the first responders and fire departments go into the local preschools and schools to educate them. We all know that we're supposed to have smoke detectors in our home and we replace the batteries annually, but nobody talks about water safety. And so with these 2 pieces of legislation, we're hoping to have that normalized and implemented throughout the schools and pretty much everywhere you go when you have a young child. I don't know if anything else.
Thank you so much. And Keith, you're such a great advocate, and we really love your work and working with you. So thank you. Don't ever follow Casey, though, when you're doing a presentation in Trenton.
Good morning.
Lieutenant?
I'm sorry. Good morning again, everyone. I do want to piggyback off of something you said earlier. I love the idea of just calling swimming first sport now. I think that's phenomenal. That should just be where it's titled. It's a great promotional campaign. And I want to thank everyone here for your passion and conviction. Regarding legislation, it's amazing to see what a suggestion and then a group of people getting together can do to implement change. I know anyone that's been dealing with legislation understands that nothing happens quickly. It's like a long walk down a short road. But let me just preface this with, I'm in the Marine Services Bureau with the New Jersey State Police. A couple years ago, I had tried to initiate some legislative change with something slightly unrelated to swimming or drowning prevention. And I was asked to come up to division headquarters to help out with the boating safety and education program. So it's really opened my eyes to how the legislative and regulatory process works. I'm currently on the New Jersey Boat Regulation Commission. I operate as the ex officio, so I'm the representative for the Attorney General for New Jersey. Prior to that, I was the administrator for the Boat Regulation Commission. So I've been doing some deep dives into some of the regulatory changes that have taken place in New Jersey regarding boating safety. The end of 2023, we had some really important regulatory changes. I know one of which made the water safety strategy, and that had to do with New Jersey Administrative Code change for riders seated between the operator and the steerage controls of a personal watercraft or a jet ski or wave runner. So that change was implemented for very good safety reasons. Mostly it's children, young people, people not old enough to operate a power vessel, especially a jet ski. You have to be 16 years old in New Jersey. And if a collision were to happen, that small person is at risk for getting crushed between the operator and the controls of the ski. Also, that small person may be likely to take over controls as far as throttle control or steerage, and unknowing to the operator, create a situation for an accident to occur. So as of the end of 2023, nobody is to be seated between the operator and the controls of a personal watercraft, and I think that's important legislation. With that said, too, obviously you don't want to put a small child behind the operator that can't hold on safely. Some other legislative changes that were made at that time, too, were also mandatory cold weather PFD wear, personal flotation device, or life jacket wear. So from November 1 to May 1st of every year, no matter what your age is, you are required to wear a personal flotation device while you're on a power vessel under 26 feet in the open area of the vessel. So if it's a cabin vessel, you can be inside the cabin. And that was implemented for safety reasons as well, to prevent hypothermia,
to reduce risk to our first responders doing search and rescue operations. Should you wind up being submerged in the cold water, it will keep you afloat. Also, when you are wearing a personal flotation device, it keeps your head above water, which mitigates the risk of suffering from hypothermia. So now you have an opportunity to save yourself, and I think that's a very important thing. We have first responders here to do our best to be able to get to you and help you out of the water and help you out of a bad situation. But oftentimes, especially on the water, I think Chuck said it earlier, most drownings happen in open water. You're away from other people. You're away from somebody that may rescue you. If you can self-rescue, that's the best way to go. Be knowledgeable, be aware, keep your head above water, keep yourself out of that situation. Some other legislation that the New Jersey State Police, as well as the New Jersey Boat Regulation Commission, has been working on. We've put, if you don't mind, I'm just going to look at this. We have some pending proposals for New Jersey law that are awaiting legislative sponsorship, and some of those have to do with the New Jersey Boat Regulation Commission has been discussing ways to enhance fines that would deter violations for some very important statutes that would help mitigate the risk of harm to oneself or injury or accident. So one of those statutes would be a general penalty statute. Most of them right now are $25 for the general penalties, and those general penalties defer to New Jersey boat regulations. So that's the administrative code. They're $25 for the first offense, $50 for a second offense, and $100 for each subsequent offense. And in the big picture, that's not a lot of money, and it's not really a deterrent for violators. And ultimately, we just want to see people be safe. So we're waiting legislative sponsorship on that. Also, we're looking to enhance the fines for reporting accidents involving vessels, and also child under 12 required to wear personal flotation devices. The fines for that legislation are also very minimal, so we're looking to increase that. So we're just waiting for legislative support. Those proposals have already been made. Another legislative proposal that we have made has to do with children between the age of 15 and 13. You can operate a power vessel at the age of 13. Children between the age of just under 16 to 13 are limited on what they can operate. They can operate a 12-foot boat with horsepower under 10, or solely electric. So now with upcoming technology, we have electric motors that can run at a horsepower equivalent to 80 horsepower. So as the law reads right now, any child 13 years old can hop on a boat and operate a vessel that goes 80 horsepower, so very fast. So we have a legislative proposal to just change the language in that for the safety of our young people. So we don't want to see them operating fast vessels. And some other legislative proposals that we made. Again, with new and emerging technology, there's devices out there called e-foils or jet boards. They're very small surfboard-like devices. They're light. They don't create a lot of weight, but they can go fast, up to 35, 40 miles an hour. It's a power vessel in New Jersey. Any power vessel needs to be registered. However, beyond that, for specific regulatory safety requirements, the New Jersey Boat Regulation Commission would like to have a little bit more oversight regarding fire extinguishers, sounding device, life jacket wear. So we're looking to just change the definition of what a personal watercraft is in New Jersey to expand it to encompass those electrically powered devices. So those are some of the legislative changes that we're making. And then also the Boat Regulation Commission can directly oversee some of the administrative code violations where we're looking for fine enhancements again. So to increase those fines again from 25 to $50 to $100 fines to bolster that a little bit to deter some of our violators on the water. Again, we're just looking to see that everyone is safe and doing the right thing, and we want to protect our boaters and our children. Another thing I just wanted to add to that, we're in a coastal state that's predominantly surrounded by water, and it does amaze me that some of this legislation doesn't already exist that requires our young people to have swimming experience. So this is great work that all of you are doing, and I applaud it.
Thank you, Sergeant Fahey. I was wondering why my 12 and 13-year-old boys were asking me to put an electric motor on the Whaler, but now I know. We have lunch to follow this, so I wanted to open it up if we had any questions, but I just have one question. I want to run through the board real quick, run through the panel. How can we help? I mean, we've increased our voice. We've gotten louder and louder, and we've channeled our message, so this is great. But like I said, we're preaching to the choir here, folks, and this is our people, and we're out there to spread the word. So how can we help? What do we need to do to get this legislative passed? And anyone can take this. You can pass it along, but how can we help? How can we bring it back to our towns and our communities and get this word out and get this legislation through to create more, throwing out the water safety net versus one line? So what can we do? And by the way, before I end, we will have lunch next. Everyone should be available for questions. So if you have comments or questions that you'd like to share, please grab these guys individually. Our list of legislation, active legislation, is in your swag bag, as is the New York Coalition information as well. So Bobby likes to communicate, so he'd be happy to reach out to everybody. But what can we do, folks? What can we do as lay people out in the field? What can we do to get this legislation through? Anybody want to take that?
I'm going to start and pass this along. When people call me, email me, ask me, I encourage them to reach out to their local legislators and make suggestions and let them know how important some of these changes may be. And with that, I'm going to pass it along because you guys may know a little bit better after that.
I agree. Reach out to your local representative. I think that letters of support go a long way. I think even going to testify and sharing kind of what niche you bring to why it's so important for them to hear the legislation. Help the state find different sponsors, and that's by reaching out to your local representatives. But that's really it. Letters of support and being, like Judith says, that person that stalks them till they hear the message.
I agree with that. If you reach out to your state senator and your state assembly people and let them know that you support these bills and why, sometimes if there's like a personal connection or, a quick story, that really goes a long way, and they see the value in what you're saying and what you're asking them to support.
The only thing that I would add is that your associations that you're working with all preach the same message as they're presenting it to the legislators, so there's no mixed message and there's no confusion.
Yeah, I mean, just get involved. Get involved nationally, get involved locally. Don't be afraid to go to your local towns and your local counties. We were very successful in New York and Long Island and Suffolk County. We worked with the Zach Foundation, who is here. Hey, Megan. And NESPA actually to come up with a drowning prevention safety action plan just in Suffolk County alone, which had its increase in numbers from 2023 to 2024 went up 66%. And we wrote an action plan, and the numbers dropped dramatically this year. We don't know if that's a direct correlation or not, but don't be afraid to get involved locally and collaborate with as many people as you can. I just heard that about 2 months ago, Governor Newsom in California passed legislation to bring dry land water safety assemblies, curriculum, and that kind of stuff into the state in California. So this is spreading. So we just keep doing the great work that we're all doing. Thank you so much.
We're very fortunate in New Jersey to have champions like Assemblyman Kane and Assemblywoman Colazzo-Skill to pick up the mantle to initially sponsor some of our key legislation. We have two houses. We have the Senate, right? We need people to know that our elected representatives that these initiatives are supported. The biggest opposition, because nobody opposes safe swimming initiatives, the biggest opposition is that there's 3,000 to 4,000 bills introduced every legislative session in Trenton. This is another thing that has to move through somehow. And the best way for that to happen is for whoever represents you to know that it matters. And think about expanding this room with your own networks, not just other swim safety organizations you're a part of. But the parents that come into your school, the people that sit next to you at a PTA meeting for your kids that don't even really know what you do for a living, but care about their kids. Don't be afraid to pass a flyer around. Don't be afraid to say, hey, reach out and make this phone call. You don't have to be an expert. That's one of the biggest obstacles we see to engaging people legislatively. They get nervous, they get scared. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yes, you do. You know better than anybody else about the impact that this legislation can have and how important it is to so many lives. So don't be afraid to reach out and don't be afraid to spread the word. Your elected representatives want to hear from you, so let them.
Just to piggyback on that, on the njswimsa.org website, there's a list of the bills. There's also a 3-click support button. I believe it's updated. I'm not sure if it is. We'll work on that. But if it isn't, the bills are listed. You can click where you live. It will pop up your assembly person. And we wrote a nice little letter. You click on the letter in support, and it will send it directly to like Kate's email. So if you spread that word and use our website as a hub, it's all written for you. You could just take the information and write it yourself. Feel free, but we made it really easy, and you don't need to be an expert. Do you guys see how I took the microphone from Judith? Isn't that great?
I have one.
Oh.
He's
Does anybody have
taller-
any questions?
he's
You shouted
taller
me
than
down.
me.
I know. I go after Casey.
He's taller than me.
And then now I got to go right before lunch.
But there is a great way, Joe, and it's become a member. It's become a
yes.
member. It's come
Here's
to the
your chance.
webinars. That's the way to do it, so you'll know when. And Dominic and his group have been very helpful in alerting us when we need to go to Trenton, and we go down and we testify. Poor Joe has to ride with me for an hour. So become a member. Get involved. That's the way to get the message out.
Does anyone have any real quick questions that we could throw out there, or we could continue this in private conversations? That'd be great. So thank you. Let me get one question.
Here we go, Miss Jackson.
Miss Jackson. And we met you at when we did the presentation on the boardwalk in Spring Lake.
Yes, we did. I find that it's not the legislators, it's the educational committee that we need to get to. They're the ones that are not bringing it to the floor.
Yeah, that's a challenge for sure. Anyone would?
I think that you're correct. Some of the roadblocks that the bill to incorporate water safety in the health and physical education curriculum, that is the education committee, and much is asked of teachers. They have a lot to teach, and things are added to their curriculum. Maybe they don't understand how important this is. Okay. Okay.
Well, with my experience, I know that my first experience was Florida in 2021, passing the school bill is what I refer to it as. And just because it passes, which is fantastic, it's the support, it's the mandate, it's making it somewhat of a law that we could do this now, nobody was implementing it. And so again, that goes back to the room, it goes back to the advocates, it goes back to all of us to ensure that it's getting done and that the education is being put out there to the parents that don't know any better or just don't realize it. And so we have 376 swim school partners with Every Child a Swimmer program in 44 states. And we're encouraging them to use that as leverage to get into the schools to help us implement it properly, because it's going to take all of us to make sure that that information is disseminated and rippling out to where it needs to be rippled out to. Just because it's law, it means that they see the value, see that it's a need, but it's going to take all of us to continue to make sure that it's working.
Perfect segue. Did I hear that Megan is in the audience? Has she arrived? Megan, stand up, please, from the Zach Foundation. Megan Ferraro, who we are doing a pilot program here in New Jersey with NJSSA on their dry land school education program. I'm so glad you're here, and thank you for your continued support to make this happen. We really applaud you, and we thank you. The Zach Foundation, ladies and gentlemen. So New Jersey is practicing a curriculum And we have people in the room. There's the phys ed teacher. Where is he? Wave to me. From Lavalette. He's learning the curriculum, as well as some other teachers and retired teachers who want to go into the school and do that. So it's happening.
Yeah, don't be afraid to just go out and hit your PTOs and your PTAs and your local principals and just try to get into the schools that way. That's how the Stop Drowning Now does it with their Dryland Education, SAC Foundation. That's the way you want to do it, because the teachers don't want to bring in a long curriculum type activity, or they can't be mandated to do that. But they'll bring in a half-hour assembly or a quick presentation, and they love that, and the principals will be open to doing that.
Beautiful. Please thank the panel. And thank the facilitator, our legislative chair, Joe Omi. All right, coming up next are your instructions for after lunch, but I need to give you some instructions for lunch. Everyone is welcome for lunch, and all of our lunch sponsors provided it to you for free. When you go in the other room, there's tables where you can sit and have lunch, but you need to visit our exhibitors as well. Some of them have exhibits, and they have supported us, so please go in and see them. If you want a copy of the New Jersey Water Safety Strategy, there's a QR code there, and you can get that. And in your swag bags, there's lots of information. But please visit our exhibitors. Okay, here's the instructions for after lunch. The award winners. In the luncheon room, in the big ante room there is a step and repeat. We want some formal pictures. Christine will take some pictures there with our president. So if you don't mind, and you're welcome to stay for lunch. Afterwards, we're doing some work. You're all welcome. And I do know some of you are staying, but if some of you have to leave, we totally understand it. And we once again just want to applaud you while we have the opportunity, the NDPA Water Safety Champions and all the people that received awards today. Let's hear it for them. One last time. Okay, Chuck. John, the next slide for Chuck. Whoop, nope, not that one. There we go. Here we go. You got one, Chuck. Go.
Everyone, when we finish lunch, we're going to divide up into groups where we would like to have your expertise focused on a certain area. So there's 4 options of places to go. Lifeguard training and development is going to be in this room, particularly addressing lifeguard shortages and that sort of thing. Collaboration is going to be in one of the other rooms, which is going to be focused on the New Jersey Bathing Code, with Rich Carlson leading that group.
That's in the hallway.
The driving public awareness, being able to connect with some of these groups, male groups, minority groups, perhaps diverse groups. That will be also
in the luncheon room.
outside.
In the luncheon room, once lunch is over, in the big room.
And
There'll be
then-
another one there too.
The third, and these are numbered from the New Jersey Water Safety Strategy, which are in your bags.
And
There
your
are
leader,
highlights
your
of
leader
them.
will be giving you a packet.
So at lunch, if you want to think about where you would like to go, you could look and refer there. The third area, drowning prevention tactics, removing barriers that affect access to learning how to swim, especially in diverse populations. John, if you could go one more slide. And when you go into that room, what we'd like to do is build on what this group has done before. In other words, we've taken over the last 2 years all the information that we have gained from these summits, distilled it down into the New Jersey Water Safety Strategy so that it's there. We made copies that are in your bag, and to take those insights and discuss them and then propose about 3 actions that you feel like would really help us over the next year. And we're going to ask you to report back into this room, and we're going to get a leader from each group up on the stage that will take us through those 3 actions in front of the whole group. We've got a leader for each of these groups, and what we'd ask the leaders to do is, if you find yourself in a group of 20 or 30 people, divide up into 2 or 3 groups so that everybody gets to participate. We really want to be sure we extract as much of that genius from every person in the room. And if you're quiet, please make an effort to speak up. And if you're somebody that is more of a talker, please make sure you're concise in what you have to say so that we can gather as much from as many as we possibly can. So this is really our professional expertise time to make a step forward towards bringing down that 65, 70 people that drown in New Jersey every year with some action steps for what we're going to do going forward. Okay?
The important thing is to not redo the whole strategy, but what has happened in the last year, I think Jack gave us a great example, is the rip current preponderance this year and the replenishment. Now that created a new issue since the strategy has been published. So there may be some new things in your category that just came about that you can add and give us that's your priority. We want to be able to follow your priorities.
And that may be the first 5 or 10 minutes to talk about, is there something new that we haven't dealt with before? And once you get past that and try to get past that in the first 5 or 10 minutes, then move on to the other initiatives and come back with conclusions and action steps.
And there are little groups among you. There are YMCAs. Find your YMCA brethren, and there's a photo spot with life-saving equipment in the corner. Take a selfie, take a picture, get it to us. The water park people, gather together in front of the step and repeat or in front of the photo op area, take that picture, send them to us. If you need an email, we'll provide you with an email. We love those pictures, okay? So if your YMCA's, Boys and Girls Club, find your brethren or find new friends and go by the photo spot and go by the step and repeat. Fabulous lunch, free of charge. Come back, ready to do some work.
If everybody looks at the screen, John is going to demonstrate his spelling and grammar skills as he types, and we're going to try to put those right up. Do you want to?
Yeah, whichever.
I'll hold it.
Sure, sure. Okay, so we talked about lifeguard training, development, and some staffing shortages. So our 3 main points that we want to talk to you about are just speaking to your local government and educating the municipality. So educating those people who are making decisions on those policies that you have, so they understand the hardships that we go through as operators and as lifeguards. Educating your community and getting community backing, because a lot of us have a lack of funding. So getting support from your community so that you can increase your funding. And some recruitment tactics that we went over were going to your local job fairs, social media presence, then having incentive programs for them, flexible scheduling, and strong team culture and recognition. So making sure that you're impressing that upon your team. Some other things that you could do is utilizing Indeed. These are paid programs, but they sounded really great from what we discussed. So smart sourcing helps you put up a campaign for your posts and puts your job ads right in people's pockets, emails, whatever that might be. Or open house, which is a lower step, a lower cost, which emphasizes keywords of lifeguards. So you want to make sure that's in there over and over and over so people get your ads right away. And then having training programs, utilizing things, so Alive Solutions, it's alive, what was it? alivesolutions.com. That's okay. They have a lot of great in-service programs, different incentives, things like that listed on there, free and available to anyone who would want them. They're a great resource. And utilizing Aquatic Professionals, that's what I just said. So this is what we came up with.
Thank you so much.
Should I leave this up here?
Yes, if you can put that over there. Eric, are you ready? So next up is going to be driving public awareness. Rich, if you're ready afterwards for collaboration and the code, you're on deck.
Thank you. All right, our group was tasked with focusing on increasing public awareness outcomes, and here's 4 of the outcomes that we came up with. At the top of the list was working with and pushing insurance to include swimming as a wellness program. A lot of insurance organizations have wellness programs, as we're pretty aware of. They're pretty common, but a lot of times what they don't include is swimming lessons. So number 1, working with and putting pressure on the insurance companies to include swimming lessons as part of the wellness program, being phase 1. Moving into phase 2 being if we can show usage of the swim lesson benefits as a wellness program, creating an additional wellness program that is specific to water safety or aquatic. Maybe it's aquatic wellness, water safety wellness, etc. The second thing we discussed was communications, leveraging the power of NJSSA and all of us together, messaging out a regular communications plan, whether it's monthly newsletters, monthly, quarterly networking type of events, so that we can continue to stay connected to each other, sharing best practices, etc. But most importantly, connecting this group together, enhancing our connections amongst each other, and collaboration. Third, capitalizing on Water Safety Month. We've all heard of Water Safety Month. Water Safety Month is becoming more and more prevalent just amongst the general consumers, but that's also a great opportunity where it's so communicated. There's so many organizations talking about water safety in May. How do we collectively continue to amplify that message even further to those that may not necessarily be familiar with it? Take a step back, NJSSA communicating to us, the membership, in February, March, with messages that say, hey, don't forget Water Safety Month is coming up. Hey, what are you doing for Water Safety Month? What's your plan for week 1, week 2, week 3 of Water Safety Month? Putting reminders out there for us, but also giving us ideas and tools to go out and promote it within our communities. But communicating it to us in a timeline when we're able to action some of those things, well, instead of just getting to it when we get to May 1st. And finally, NJSSA working to build relationships with other organizations that can help us continue to amplify the message, more specifically, where they can share those messages with their audiences. So something like the League of Municipalities, New Jersey Association of County Health Officials, NJRPA, going out there with those swim safety messages, communicating it to those organizations who can then turn around, reminding them of the importance of these things and getting them to push it out to their respective audiences.
Great, Eric. Thank you. Eric and his company, Get It Done Marketing, were the editors of the New Jersey Water Safety Strategy, and Eric also a wonderful organizational mind if you're looking for help in that area. His company is great for that. Rich, you ready to go? Collaboration and...
It's being filmed as we speak. John Roche, Volunteer of the Year.
I could use this at my other seminars and stuff like this, because
That's why we gave John the
I
plaque.
go across the country, I do these seminars, and then they first of all they mock me for my Jersey accent, so I have to have closed captions sometimes. So this would be really good.
We gave,
oh, look at that. All right, so that's
Rich,
good. All right.
Rich, we gave John the Volunteer of the Year because he was the only guy that could do this. So that's why he got that award,
All right.
John.
I may have to call you because I have to do something in Arkansas. That's going to be a trouble. All right. All right. So we did on collaboration. Basically, we spent a lot of time on the PRB, on the New Jersey New Jersey Public Recreational Bathing Code. And we've been working on this for the last couple of months, several months actually, since the beginning of the year. The bathing code is only in existence for 5 years. It's in regulation. So what happened was that we knew that it expired in January 2025. So what happened was that NJSSA partnered with New Jersey Coalition of Lake Associations and with the pool managers associations to make recommendations that were going to be kind of like practical, all right? Because what happened was that some of these things obviously do not work for us, all right? How many people have the PRB says that it's perfect, right? Nothing's really perfect. So what happened was we talked about it, and basically, first of all, I want to thank, all right? I want to thank Dee, Lynn, and Janelle, all right, from the Department of Health, because they sat there and they took a lot of abuse, all right? So clap for them, because they were very good, all right? And we didn't want to pick on them, all right? But they were very stoic. All right,
Large,
so they were
but I
very
have an
good.
extra large
So
one.
the bathing code, basically we found out there's a lot of inconsistencies, and it doesn't really come from the state. It comes from our local inspectors, whether they be municipal, whether they be county, or a regional type county health inspector that comes, and they're not consistent. You know, one year you get passed, next year you fail. All right, so what happened was we talked about that there's a lot of inconsistencies on inspectors, and there's no specialization. all right? Like we said, all right, they do restaurants, they do septic, all right, but they very rarely do pools and waterfront. So here, in precision and rationale, we have to talk about some of the things that what we do is we made recommendations. So an example, one of the things is that at special exempt facilities, they don't have to have a lifeguard, all right? But they have to have all the equipment out. Well, what sense does that make, all right? The equipment get ripped off or whatever. Another thing is that waterfront lifeguards go off duty at 6 o'clock. What happens down the Jersey Shore? All right, where's Bob? Bob. What happens at Jersey Shore at 6 o'clock? Do you take all the equipment in? You don't leave anything out, right? All right, so our inspectors think that, okay, since our guards are going off duty, we have to leave all the equipment out. I looked at him, well, are you kidding me? So no, you can't do that, all right? So I said, that's not consistent. We'll leave a ring buoy out, all right? A ring buoy with a 60-foot line. So they said, no, it says you have to leave it out all the time. I said, no, we're not leaving it out. What do they do down the Jersey Shore? So finally, one of them finally got it by what we do is, okay, is that your car there? All right, leave the keys in the ignition, leave the windows open, put your laptop on the dashboard and your cell phone there. She said, I'm not going to do that. Well, then we're not leaving our equipment out either, all right? So here, so what happens is that we have to have a rationale. We have a rationale for every single thing that we put in there. We just can't say that we're not going to do it. We said, all right, this is our rationale, and we have to have a solution. So our solution was, we'll leave a ring buoy out. We call everybody out of the water. Lifeguards are going off duty, swim at your own risk, and here's a ring buoy, and we leave it out 24 hours a day. That's one of the rationales that they proposed. Some of the other things is that stakeholders, we want to make sure that we have input into the new regulations. Now, even though the regulations were passed in June or July of this year, they did them without any changes because they just wanted to do it, because otherwise there'd be no regulations in effect. So what happened is we stakeholders, and again, like I said, the stakeholders are NJSSA, they're going to be the voice for us, and the New Jersey Pool Managers Association, New Jersey Coalition of Lake Associations, and any other organizations that you want, contact us, and what happens is that if you want a regulation that doesn't make sense or that you want something added, one of the things that we asked for was that if you have an AED, there should be oxygen, all right? Oxygen with it, all right, because that's going to help promote. The rationale is that if we're going to be trained, if lifeguards want to be trained and considered as first responders, that's one of the things under EMS, all right? We're the first line of EMS as lifeguards. So what happens is that we should have oxygen available, and that's going to help to, in the facilitation and help in the recovery of that patient and that victim, all right? So that's our rationale, and it comes out from a USLA statement too. We use that as a policy. Another one is that basically, the pool director certification, lifeguard management. One of the things that comes out is, okay, it's online, but then what happens is the state says that you have to also sit for a test, for a proctored exam. What happens is that, Pool Managers Association, what they do is we do the lifeguard management course, but what happens is that they also add in there, come to the class, bring your policy procedures, your rules and regulations, and we're going to go over the PRB to make sure that your policy procedures and your rules and regulations are compliant with the PRB, and they get a lot more out of it. All right? The only difference between the in-person test and the test that you take online is only 2 questions. If you fail those, you still pass. All right? So we found out that the PRB, any government standards, anything like that, they are the minimum standards. They are one step above inadequate. All right? I do a lot of investigations, all right, for places that unfortunately might have a drowning incident or a near drowning incident, and then insurance companies will not insure them until I come in there and I do a reassessment and stuff like this. And one of the first things I ask them is training records, all right? What is the minimum training? In-service training, 4 hours. That maybe should be built in the PRB, all right? Why? All right, because that's basically the national industry standard. Not addressed in the PRB. It's about training. Certifications, all right, they should be updated. They still have, up until a couple of years ago, what was it, the ALA? Joe, who is it? They had the ALA, American Lifeguard Association. Everybody know about the American Lifeguard Association? What do we know about them? It's all an online course. Learn lifeguarding in the privacy of your own home, right? Forget it, all right? It's not accepted, all right? So, but it was still in the PRB and in the certification. They finally took it out, all right? So basically what happens is we're looking here that to change the PRB, we want to be stakeholders, and we want to bring it to the we want to bring it to the state to say, listen, we want to say in how these regulations are going to be and make it a little bit more practical, all right? And as we spoke to Janine and Dee, that, you know, basically it's not the state's fault, all right? But we were welcome to come to and talk to the inspectors and say, listen, this is what you should be inspecting, all right? None of us want to have a drowning, all right? Obviously, nobody here wants to have a drowning. That's why we're here, all right? But the whole thing is that let's make this a lot more practical and make this work for us. Let that be a hindrance to us. So that's one of the things that we're working on collaboration here.
Thank you, Rich. And finally, we have Rutgers Aquatics presenting on.
Yeah, I wrote my own band. Sorry. Oh, I don't want that, though.
I don't think you need it.
Thank you. Okay, so we dealt with underserved communities, underserved populations. We had a great discussion, so much so, Judith, we didn't even want to put anything down on paper. We were ready to go home and start without you all. It was actually a really great discussion. We talked about representation, and we really need representation. I want to introduce someone who came in late, who was in our group, and I think she can be a face of getting swim lessons, especially for older people, even though she's young, but she's not a child. Danielle Combs with the NAACP, New Jersey State Conference, who told me I could tell the story. She's 25 years old. At age 23, she got swim lessons. So we need that kind of representation. We need a face that's not a face like mine, that shows the underserved communities and the underserved populations.
I want to add that we've made a contact with the sorority Sigma, who has in their mission swimming lessons, so we'll be working with you and with Sigma. That would be really great.
Okay. The other group of, that we talked about were the people with disabilities, which is my thing, because I watch it, I see it every day, and as a recreational therapist, and the number of children and adults with autism that are going to a body of water and dying. We don't have people really trained properly to give those lessons, and we need to look at that. So we talked about getting a grant that maybe NJSSA could be the filter through to provide these trainings out there, but we need to get people properly trained. I explained a situation. I'm not an aquatics person, never will be. But I am a person that works with people with disabilities, and a swim class that maybe is 6 weeks, it might take me 6 weeks just to get the child into the water. It took me 6 weeks to get a kid with autism on a soccer field wearing shin guards. So we have to think about it in a different way. We need people trained for that. So what are the grant opportunities out there? There's in a lot of municipalities go for the CDBG monies. Ronnie, who had to leave in Plainfield, she got some of those monies too to train her lifeguards. So we can look at that. Building partnerships. We had a great discussion about partnerships in that we really, it's not just about me working at my town when I was employed, or somebody working, where's my Pinnacle person? I'm sorry, what was your first name? Karen at Pinnacle in Hillsborough, but instead, in looking at the partnerships that we can form together with them, Princeton formed a partnership with the nursery school in the more African-American area of Princeton, and they are now offering swim lessons through Princeton Rec for 4- and 5-year-olds. So they're not allowed to leave until they've gotten their swim lessons through them. So forming those partnerships. Karen at Pinnacle has formed a partnership with the fire department, and everybody thinks, do I have any firemen in here? Okay. Everybody thinks firemen have to be trained in swimming, and that's not a requirement. I'm married to a fireman. That's not a requirement. So she's doing some training programs with them, offering the pool for free for them to come in and do some training. But you got plenty of them that have to go out there and do ice rescues. Rich knows out in Lake Hopatcong and all, they need to be trained, and they're wearing their gear. But she's forming those kinds of partnerships. we talked about moving beyond kids and adult programming and adult swim lessons. And Evan in Princeton said, I tried, I get nobody. Karen says, at Pinnacle in Hillsborough, I got them all there. They're all coming to her, and she has a large Muslim community, and teaching them to swim with their attire on and what their swimsuits are. So it's what we came to a conclusion on was that there's a lot of embarrassment in your own community. Who wants to be that adult showing up for adult swim and admitting at age 60, I don't know how to swim? It's an ego thing and an embarrassment thing. So again, but it laps into partnerships. Who can we partner with to offer these classes for them? So thinking about the adult swimmer, the adult who needs swim lessons. We need to get the message out better. So I think there was a lot of overlap, Judith, we saw with some other groups here doing it. But what is that message? I love Kate's stop, drop, roll. You know, it's like stop, think, or you're going to sink. Like, don't go in the water or the ocean. Growing up at the shore, we never thought about going into the water when there's no lifeguard. Ronnie brought up a very good point. A lot of the people from other countries, they don't have lifeguards on the beach the way we do. So they're not used to having to stop to think you don't go in the ocean without anybody there. So we have to work through those challenges. But we need that message. We need a strong slogan out there that gets our message out to serve the underserved communities. That's it.
Thank you, guys. Wonderful work. We're going to close up. Please stay along for just a few more minutes.
Well, you made it. You made it. So I'm about 40 years older than many of the people in this audience, so I'm going to tell you I am just beat. But I still have enough energy to close this out the right way. So Connie Urkel, my dear friend and the leader of the Urkel Foundation, has something to add. Connie. And I won't feel bad, but how many people enjoyed the day today? Okay. Be a member, become a member, get your agency to be an agency member. Together we are really strong. What started as a whisper is now a roar. And if you feel energized by this today, keep the energy up. As you leave, there are some lovely tchotchkes still available as you leave, so grab them. There's several things out there. If you have an Every Child a Swimmer grant, can I see any hands, anybody with Every Child a Swimmer? Casey left some t-shirts. So see Kate afterwards, we have some t-shirts from Casey if you have an Every Child a Swimmer. So here is Connie Urkel of the Victoria Urkel Foundation. Connie.
Hi, everybody. I know we're all excited to get back on the road. I just wanted to thank Judith and Kate and the whole team. This was a great day. 3 years ago, or I guess it's 2 years ago, the first meeting, I came, and I think Judith mentioned it earlier. So I'll just jump back. 34 years ago, I'm old, oh my goodness. Our youngest daughter, Victoria, fell in a pond with 4 adults in the backyard. My mom and I were inside just getting cake and ice cream together for my younger brother. Everybody thought somebody was watching the children, and we probably have all heard this story. From here to the back of the room where the windows are, where we had lunch, we had a pond on the back of our property. No trees, no bushes, just straight grass. And Victoria toddled past the 4 adults and fell in our pond. She lived for 23 hours, and then she went into the arms of Jesus. And I know we'll be with her one day again, which gives me hope and has kept me out of the insane asylum. But I came here. We worked 27 years in Ghana, Africa. We started 2 Christian schools there in memory of Victoria. 5 or 6 years ago, we left the schools in the hands of the Ghanaians in West Africa. There were 280 some students between the 2 schools. They were rated third, one of the top 3 schools in the region by national testing. So that was a delight. My heart is always going to be in Africa. But it was time to just put our efforts here in New Jersey. So we rebranded, our board of directors got together. It was hard, I have to be honest. And so we saw that the the New Jersey Water Safety Summit was happening. And I came thinking it was going to be more people like me, all parents who have lost a child. But I was very humbled to be in the midst of such dedicated professionals. I got to meet Curly, and today I got to meet Casey, and our hearts are knit together just through our tragedies. But God in his goodness gave us some more work to do. So here in South Jersey, we give swim lesson scholarships to adults and children at the Kroc Center in Camden. Roman's back here very quietly. He's the director of the aquatics program at the Kroc Center, which is incredible. We also give swim lessons to other children. We have 2 autistic children we have swim lesson scholarships for right now. We're super excited about that. But coming here really anchored us. Now, I'm going to be honest, and you guys, I'm sure will agree with me. If Judith had started a garbage collecting business and hounded all of us, we would probably get on board with it. She's amazing. She's a great leader. She's she's an encourager. She really puts people together, and it's all for really other people. It's not for you. It's not for me. It's for the public to keep children and adults safe. So in saying that, there is strength in numbers, but there's also strength in numbers financially. And if you are not a member at this time, I really encourage you to get on board as a member. One of the things we were talking about today in our group, in our breakout session, was having a billboard on the Parkway in the summertime, starting in the spring, in May. Let's get going with that. That takes money. That takes commitment. The other thing was, and numerous groups said it, you know, if, and I'm going to say this wrong now because it's the summit, but NJSSA was sending out monthly reminders like, hey, you know, don't forget, this is coming up. Get your messaging prepared for this. Here's a great message you could send out. That takes time, that takes energy, that takes, you know, a leader that has the time to do that, and that also takes money. So I just want to encourage you, if you're not a member yet, please jump on board. It's a wonderful organization. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but I just want to give you that little motivation. Judith, Kate, thank you so much. This was a great day, and I think we all are leaving here motivated and excited to continue the work we're all called to do. So I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and a safe trip home, but Judith will take over. Or Kate.
I feel like I always follow these amazing speakers, and I'm like, what am I supposed to say? But I want to say thank you, everyone, for being here. Linda, we couldn't do this without you. Linda is our very, very part-time executive director. We would love to have Linda more, but that takes money and things like that. So definitely become a member. I want to thank John and the hospitality of East Brunswick and the board members who are here. Thank you so much. I know it's hard. You're going to go back to your office and you're going to worry about the swim instructor that called out, the lifeguard that's late, the chlorine that isn't where it's supposed to be, and you get into your day-to-day operations. I've been there in aquatic management, but there's so much more that we can do, and we can do it if we have the team together, one voice. So stay connected with us, use your talent with us, even if it's just writing an article for a newsletter, that would be super helpful. Sharing what we're doing on social media, all of those things really matter. So there's so much passion in this room. Let's keep it going. Stay connected with us as NJSSA. If you're not a member, please become a member so we can keep this momentum going. But thank you what you do every day. It really does matter. We're teaching children to swim. We're teaching young people how to have their first job with lifeguarding. And we're really doing great things in New Jersey. Let's keep it up.
Thank you, Kate. So last year, can I just see the board members stand one more time? I get to be up here and people say nice things about me, but it's the board members, it's a team, it's the volunteers that led things today. One more time for the board members, please. And I will be filing a report because on my name tag, it has troublemaker. I find that offensive. Who did that? Good trouble. I'll be filing a report. So last year, I was presented this outfit. How many times do you get to wear this? So I figured, oh, what the heck? Why not? Thank you for humoring me. Thank you for being here today. I want you to collect bathing suits and goggles. If you need bathing suits and goggles, we want to get them to you because bathing suits lead to swim lessons, and swim lessons save lives. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. God bless you. Godspeed. We'll see you soon. Thank you. Thank you, John.